Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the RGL Season 7 Invite Highlander Playoffs. We have a lower bracket match for you. Normally, we go for the upper bracket finals, but if you were here for last week, we had a couple of big upsets. Our first and second seeds in Cuties and Candy have dropped to this lower bracket, and this is now a one elim left, one life for both of these teams, and placement is on the line. I'm Zagron, joined with Rogue by my side, and Dolphin behind the cam as always. How you doing, Rogue?
Doing good. I'm excited for some good Highlander, where this is quite the matchup, like you said. Our loser tonight goes home, gets no prize money, gets no placement badge. Do not pass go, do not collect 200. So we're playing for our playoff lives here.
Yeah, and these are two very strong teams, and like we mentioned, this is last chance. If you lose here, you do not place. No top three, no prize money. So everything is on the line tonight. And both of these teams who suffered really bad upsets last week, they've made some adjustments to their rosters.
Yeah, it's quite interesting that it turns out I got a little bit of a had a bit of a talk with kids next door where Oblivion on Pyro had nobly stepped down where he wasn't feeling like he was playing so hot. So instead, Kids Next Door moves Zukima back to Pyro and out of medic jail, and instead on medic we have Bowl.
Yeah, we can go ahead and talk about these rosters real quick since it probably is going to be the big story about tonight. So on K&D starting, we have Scythe Scout, Muma Soldier, Zukima making that swap to Pyro, Jarrett on Demo Man, Kresnik on Heavy, Scratchy on Engineer, Bull on Medic coming in, and Boar on Sniper, Demento on Spy.
Cuties is looking at a ringer themselves where we have the classics of Sandblast on Scout, Rain on Soldier, and Melon on Pyro. But this time we have Logan on Demo Man, who is a very strong Demo Man to be bringing in, but this late in the game, not having so much experience, we'll have to see how it works. But the rest of the roster rounding out with Adam on Heavy, Wax Engineer, Ray Medic, Wild Sniper, and Michael Lele Spy.
Yep, and three changes, two for Candy, one for Cuties. We can talk a little about the Candy one, the Zuki switching in for Oblivion. Oblivion not wanting to finish out the playoffs as he feels like he wasn't playing well. Zuki back on that's probably gonna. I think it'll be an improvement for their combo just because they're more used to playing together, and Oblivion kind of came in last minute notice once they needed to make those changes. Bull definitely very experienced on medic. He'll probably play fine with Candy. He's probably a step up over Zukima. Some could argue, but it would be close based on how good ready you think Bull is, whether or not he's rusty. Meanwhile, in Cuties, the Logan Ringer over Giraffe on Demo Man. For those of you not familiar with Logan, he is a monster Demo Man. He will hit every sticky, every pipe, and he's probably going to be the biggest talk between these two teams tonight.
Especially as we look into our maps, of course, Cuties pick Asheville and they're ringing Logan as well. So I'm sure we're going to be seeing some pretty high damage per minute numbers out of this guy.
Yeah, and we can talk about the pick ban real quick on the maps. K&D start out with a Cascade ban. They've done that a lot. They really don't like that map. Cuties responding with a Steel ban and an Asheville first pick, which is interesting. Like you mentioned, they probably did lean towards it with the Logan Demo Man swap. After that, K&D got their Swiftwater pick. They're probably very happy about that one. Banned product, and then Cuties chose Vigil over Upward, which is interesting because Cuties beat K&D on Upward, but then lost badly to Refrigerator on the map last week.
I know that even the Cuties themselves were struggling where exactly to go in this veto, where, of course, banning Steel is, they're not a very strong Steel team, so that's a given. But, playing into players like Boar on Asheville, you have to feel pretty confident, I think.
Yeah, Cuties probably feeling a bit trapped in the pick ban because a lot of their maps they would have probably liked to pick last week, like Upward, they just feel like they can't do after the Refrigerator loss. And if I'm gonna objectively look at this pick ban, I'm gonna be honest, this pick ban looks like a big loss for Cuties. I think that Candy are extremely happy with how these maps panned out.
I would agree, actually. Yeah, as we talk about how tough it was for Cuties to make a choice, I think that speaks to Candy's map pool being quite strong and maybe matching up pretty well on some of these maps. So I think I'll agree with you there.
Yeah, my big thing so for Cutie's Asheville pick, we'll talk about that one since we are on Asheville first here tonight. Koth, I believe we're playing 1/2, so first to three. Syeth and Muma on flank. I know Syeth, and he loves maps where he can be more independent on scout, take DM fights at his leisure, and just go behind and be a nuisance. So he's going to be happy with that one over Sandblast. And then Muma with his feed soldier playstyle, for lack of a better term, he's going to be a lot more effective on a map like Asheville than he would on a map like Upward, where like Rain would take over the game on that map. So I think for Candy, their flank is happy. Their combo, we'll have to see how they do with Zuki Bowl coming in to kind of fill the gaps. And then Boar, like you mentioned on Asheville, very strong. Demento, Demento's like on the forefront on how to play Asheville with calming for your team. So overall, I think Candy are very happy with it. Although Cuties, they have their reasons. So
Well, how strongly do you feel that, Zagron? What are your predictions for this match? For this map, of course, on map one being Asheville, first to three.
I'm gonna go 3-1 Candy. I feel like the upgrades they've made are going to help them stabilize, and the map, I just don't think it favors Cuties. I think Cuties are going to be reeling a bit harder from their loss last week because of, for lack of a better term, internal issues where they just feel like they're kind of slipping after their undefeated regular season. Whether or not they
Right.
can prove me wrong or not, hopefully they do prove me wrong and we got a competitive series here, but I would favor Candy out of the gate.
Listen, you got all the right points, but I'll have you know with some more insider info. You guys got to start paying me more. But I scrimmed against Candy in the pregame with Man Crush Monday, even though we had like 5 ringers, including Space Ghost on demo, and we still beat them on Asheville. So I don't know. I think I maybe will go 3-2 in favor of Kids Next Door. But you know what it is about this match, Zag, is this is a bit more of a mental match than a DM match
I would
because
agree, actually, because like we mentioned, placement is on the line. And both these teams, after their first loss, they're probably not feeling too good.
listen, everyone at home can play along, okay? Get some eyeliner on, pull out your studded belt, bump some Linkin Park because the most emo team loses. Right? We saw last week that Kids Next Door were sort of, after they lost that first match and started losing rounds, then they're, discussing what we need to do better as they're losing more rounds. Cuties are thinking we need a hero, we need to get back in this game. So 5 people step up making calls, but when there's 5 calls, there's basically no calls. So whoever can keep it together, I think, after map one is going to be a test. So just for your own mental, winning map one will turn this strongly in your favor.
And speaking of a hero, I really want to zone in on Logan here for Cuties because a lot of people might not be familiar with Logan, like nearly as much as Giraffe, because Giraffe is a kind of a long-term mainstay in the Highlander scene. Logan, as of recent, has been one of the best demo men DM-wise, and he definitely has very good synergy with aggressive teams. So if Logan can come in and drop that 600 DPM over Jarrett, which a lot of people also argue Jarrett's not been looking too good, at this stage of his Highlander career where he may not have been the presence that he once was. Logan could come in and just overpower him. And if that happens, then we could see the maps get a bit closer. Asheville might become a bit of more of a chore for Candy as their combo tries to settle in. Meanwhile, Logan's kind of just running a train on him. So that's gonna be interesting to see.
Yeah, you're right. If we look to players, even if we think, okay, as long as Weil at least goes close to Boar, Michael Lele gets a couple crucial medic picks, maybe every other round, Logan and Sandblast could just win this for Cuties, right? These players have such strong DM. They're here on a Koth map. They can just tear it up. So they're going to be winning rounds just because they feel like it.
Yeah, so we set the stage pretty good for this one. We got 19, or excuse me, 17 players in the server. Muma just waiting to join up on his team, and we're gonna get ready to get started here. For those of you just joining in, welcome out. This is the lower bracket finals, or lower bracket semifinals rather, where loser is out. Winner gets third place minimum, a chunk of the prize money, and a chance at going even further. Upper bracket tonight, we do have Refrigerator versus Memento Mori, not on cast, but happening at the same time. So we might be live updating you guys on that as it happens. We're expecting Memento Mori to take that game, but who knows? Refrigerator 2-0'd the first seed last week, so maybe they have some more magic up their sleeves.
I'll also throw in for that match that they have Right Justify replacing Giraffe. So losing your main caller in favor of someone who hasn't played with you all season. Of course, RJ can hold his own, but that's a big shoes to fill, I think.
Yeah, definitely. The match might turn interesting, like, all the playoff matches have so far. But for now, we're waiting on this one to start. We do have Muma on a team now. We're going to just wait for those ready ups coming in. Anything you're looking for initially, how these teams might play, who you think might bot across point first, since you did pregame K and D?
Sure. So Of course, I'm always looking to Boar, who not only does he put up strong numbers, but he has that aggressive playstyle where he'll peek somewhere you don't expect and drop the med or kill the demo first thing at mid, hitting that fast, super fast shot through Shutter, right? So I'm very much looking to Boar. Also, I'm a bit more interested in Muma this time around because Memento Mori had a lot of protocols for dealing with the soldier behind causing chaos. Cuties, to me, don't feel as cohesive in that way, where the players that can deal with the person behind will, everyone else ignore them and keep fighting. I think there might be a little bit of cluttered comms there, so Muma, even if he goes in and does nothing, might distract them enough for K&D to come in and clean up.
Yeah, and if we were going to give our matchups to watch, normally you always want to say Sniper, but I'm actually going to go on a limb here. I think the matchups to watch here are Jarrett Logan and Scythe Sandblast. I think the Demo Scout combo is going to very heavily determine which team can walk forward with the damage and cleanup. And if one combo is a bit lacking, we might see Logan just kind of dumpster Jarrett, or maybe Scythe starts getting the edge on Sandblast, vice versa could happen. The match might get one-sided very quickly. So we are almost starting. The teams have ready up in live.
And let's not forget, if you're a K&D, you're so seasoned, you've got all these classic players, you will beat this team on coordination, but Cuties is going to keep you very honest because of these strong fraggers, like we said, Sandblast, Logan. You have to be on your toes constantly for K&D.
Yep, it's going to be who can play fast and who can adapt faster. So with that, we're getting ready to get in here. Highlander lower bracket semifinals. We are ready and revved up to go. We have Candy starting out on the blue side, Cuties on the red side. We're going to have to see which element chooses to roll out faster, who can hit that one and get the first damage off. Looks like they're both going through Shutter as normal. First sticky goes to Jarrett, pushing Logan back a lot actually. Logan's going to need to get some heals for continue fighting. As we're spreading out, Wild has won the initial SBS onto Boar, so that's a big win for Cuties so far. He's going to walk across. Jarrett getting killed as well, but Rain and Adam getting taken out in response. Kresnik dying though is a big collapse, and Sandblast killing Kresnik and Zukima. That's the medic pick, and that's the aggressive mid from Cuties, facilitated by that opening pick from Wild.
Ooh, a little second last week there. Of course, Zukima on Pyro this time around, so we're going to be looking at a little bit of an even Ubers, even though Bull wasn't building so well. But I think you nailed it right with Sandblast working his way across the point. When you got that second pick, everyone moves forward off Sandblast's aggression.
Yep, and they just couldn't respond because Wild had that sightline, he ended up helping take down Kresnik, so that was such a big opening pick. Here's Muma bombing over the roof, trying to get the forest. Good surf from Ray onto that fan's area, only took half her health, and is going to keep that Uber. War's peeking underneath right now, it's pretty aggressive, I don't know if anyone saw him. But meanwhile, Wild railing off a headshot onto Scratchy, so initial stacks don't go too well. But they're going to drop down offhand anyway. Uber from K&D in here, response in from Cuties. They're going to counter Uber Flash, Heavy, and Demo. But in the backline, Micah has killed Boar, and there's just frags and positioning in the favor of Cuties.
Whoa, Ray hits an amazing surf and now has a perfect Uber keeping all of her players alive. This is... Cuties has their head in the game and they're out for blood.
Yep, Wild took a snipe onto Bull there as well, so killing that enemy medic early. Ray still hasn't died, although the Cuties have lost their sniper and engineer, so lacking a bit of defensive power, but K&D just staggering their spawns a bit. They're going to have to regroup, and now Ray's going to keep that 40% ad.
Cuties trying to keep control of roof. Sandblast actually even going to try and make some space, just push into the enemy bats while you have Uber ad, just to show them you mean business. And they do get a couple picks into lower as well. Sandblast now on a 6k, along with Micah Lele on a 6k. Wow.
Yeah, both those players doing tons of work with those pistols, Revolver and Scout Pistol doing work. And now Ray on 90% Uber. Muma trying to get some damage onto the roof. He's going to have to drop down to lower. Candy contesting through Shutter right now. Logan gets blasted into the enemy and taken down, so really good sticky from Jarrett, I believe, caused that. He also takes out Adam, so doing some good work from those fans' area. Cuties got to back up, even though Ray has Ubers, so there should be a free take, although they're very careful for Wild. Demento's decloaking on him. Going to get pushed back. Doesn't get the kill. Demento actually gets taken down, but that is the take for K&D, and now both teams have Uber. It's going to be about the spawners, though. Jarrett does get his spawn off in time. Demento... Oh, they're going to get Ubered in. Actually, it's just a solo onto Sandblast. Power coming in late. Wild taking down Boar again. And now it's a counter. The Uber's a lot better for K&D, but they're lacking players.
Sloppy. They drop Kresnik. They're not sure when they need to use, who they need to use on, and K&D is crumbling now. Remember, whoever has the point has longer spawns. So right now, Cuties want to take every trade they can, and they're cleaning house, except for Syath, who's manages to get Adam a little bit.
He's still in the middle of 5 players. He hasn't even taken any damage. Going to take down Wild and Adam, and he managed to get out alive so far. So clutch play by Scythe to give his team some advantages on that recapture. WoW's going to be spawning up, so Bora has some time to work with, although they do get the recap. Cuties down to 50 seconds on the clock, with only 2:30 left for, or there's 2:30 left for K&D, so big advantage for the Cuties. They also have 50% Uber ad to work with, so right now we're looking very good for the Cuties to take round 1.
From Ivy through middle, out connected like a speed demon. But of course, Muma gets denied completely. Zuki gets reflect killed, I think, from his own reflect. Well, this is some very nice point pressure here, where K&D is going to come down with this cap, it looks like. Cuties just giving it to them, but Cuties has a big ad, and now they're working back into Shudder. The spawns are in their favor. Logan's doing so much damage across point, and Sandblast shoves them all back.
Yep, point gets flipped, but the kills are in favor of Cuties. We see Micah on a 9k now, gonna get the kill onto Bor, and Kresnik as well dropping to Sandblast. So while with an ending snipe to Scratchy, it's gonna be another recap in for Cuties. They're playing the Uber flip game fantastically. They're letting Candy get onto the point, popping back out and crushing them on the collapse.
Even Rain going for that late pick, causing some chaos over on Bats, is going to buy even more room, even more space for your team. Because Candy, 7 seconds, 6 seconds, you got to get on cap. You got full ad, but you need the point.
Yep, here's the Candy Uber out through Shudder. We got a duo onto Jarrett and Scythe. Gonna do a lot of damage, although Demento does die early. They're gonna clean up Melon and get Wax's setup all the way down. Sandblast fighting on the roof, does manage to kill Muma, and Wild snipes Jarrett as well. So Logan finding a sticky kill onto Scythe. That's a lot of deaths for Candy, and their spawns get extended. They have 4 people on 10 seconds. This should be a walkout for Cuties and a dry capture. We see them dropping off fans right now. Rain doing a lot of damage to Bor while sniping down Kresnik, and this one's done and dusted. Recap gonna go in the favor of Cuties. One last Uber to add insult to injury, and that's gonna be round 1 for the Cuties. Convincing fashion, only let Candy get 1 minute.
Yeah, Zagron, that was dominant. I'm so impressed by Cuties. We even had like a little bit of like an anime like protagonist arc, right, where Melon was talking about how much this means to her and how hard they're working for this, and they've been putting in work all week, and wow, does it show how bad Cuties want this win.
Yep. We see, again, Logan a bit slow to mid, so Jarrett gonna try to find that advantage. The health is a bit more even this mid, but it looks like they're trying to edge forward fast. Bomb over onto enemy bats from Muma. Rain gonna respawn, and Adam is the first death on that mid. Crescent gonna get traded right after, but Demento in the backline gonna decloak, get Wild and Logan, so big play from the Spy of K&D to give his team that advantage, and they're gonna get that point. But now Rain in from his trip around town, gonna get taken down before he can get damage onto Bull, and that's a successful mid for K&D, switching the pace very quickly here.
Yeah, that mid was you know, a mid like you've seen, a mid just like any other, but then at the same time, Muma was so fast getting behind, Demento instantly decloaks, and they win that mid instantly for their team when they commit.
Yep, Sandblast just buying some time in the back line, gets taken out by the mini in the end. And now we're going to be having both meds on Uber, but Cuties do have to wait for Sandblast before they want to go. Crescent getting his respawn because of that. And right now it's 15 seconds off the clock, just started flipping over, but Micah finds an opening onto Kresnik. That's very big for that push denial, and a lot of damage over the roof from Logan, so now Cuties get a free walk up onto the crates. They're going to look to Uber across point. They have the first Uber, and they're pushing Candy back, but Jarrett inside, taking a return, doing a lot of damage, but that's not enough. They find 2 kills, but Cuties still have point pressure. It's going to be about Jarrett inside finding the cleanup here, but Jarrett gets taken down. Adam shreds him on that roof, and the space is what wins that fight for Cuties.
When Cuties Ubered in, they sent Rain into the back of Candy's ramp. So as the Ubers were exchanged and all the shiny players are smacking each other around for 0 damage, Rain locked out the rest of the flank from kids next door. So when they had time to recommit, everyone's at half health and they couldn't cut it.
Yep, and with that, Cuties get their first capture of the round. Both meds going to be on about 55-60%. Neither med has died yet in the round, while finding another opening snipe onto Bor. He's been dominating the SBS so far. Very impressive performance, as now Candy are trying to edge their way out of Shudder. Do see Demento trade that sniper pick, so they are able to bomb in. Muma goes over the roof, 2 rockets onto Ray, gets that kill, and now Kresnik's getting his revenge, revving up, taking down Logan and Melon. Adam and Sandblast die in the meantime to Jarrett's 2k with a pipe and a bottle, so very clean repush by K&D. Cuties basically get wiped off the face of the map.
Yeah, that was so clutch from K&D, how they peek all the different doors at the same time. Cuties just having a way of on each person, so having a little bit of a server lag, it seems.
And we're going to be readying up on this Bats hold. Looks like Candy trying to get aggressive with that wipe. Kresnik in the face of Logan, but gets backstabbed by Micah before he can kill him. So looking good for Cuties on this repush, but they do lose 3 to Jarrett and Scythe and Muma getting that choke point spam. Now bombing over into the opposite side. Muma doing a good job taking on Wax, and now this forward hold is looking very good for Candy, but Logan's trying to get pipes onto Bull. Bull also dropped down, so this forward hold should be ending soon.
Bull was holding on the fans for something like 20 seconds. What an amazing hold that was, and it locked him out for so long, right? Where Cuties is just barely getting in position to start thinking about sacking, but they're at 70% already. Even Muma now causing chaos and havoc in the back lines. That's even more time that they haven't been able to sack in.
Jarrett and Demento dropping as well as Muma. That's a lot of deaths to lose at this point. Now Candy are only 6 up, and they're going to have to give up point presence here. Cuties dropping down, take advantage of that space. Boar has won the SBS onto Wild, so his team has an advantage. They're going to solo side into the enemy team, trying to get some damage down, but no kills found yet. Meanwhile, on the backline, Sandblast says, screw your Uber, I'm going to do it without it. Gets 2 kills onto Kresnik and Scratchy. More cleanup in from Rain. The flank of Cuties doing big damage, and that recapture is going to come in without Ray even having to use Uber.
So we see that coordination from K&D, right, where they're peeking these doors, good repushes, but then Cuties are so aggro with Sandblast and Logan. We're already in. As soon as 2 people went down on K&D, Sandblast and Logan won the fight before it even happened, based on their positioning. So yeah, this is a very nice showing from them so far.
Yeah, excuse me there, we did see Ray use Uber onto Sandblast. I had a bit of a HUD bug where I actually didn't see him being shiny, so that's amazing. Meanwhile, Boar getting that opening pick onto Sandblast, that's going to be really big, that scout advantage to work with. Meanwhile, Wild has traded that pick onto Muma, so both teams down to flank class. Candy are looking to get on bats here, pop off of Fant. They're only at 65% to raise 90, so they're going to have to drop down. Bolt takes a lot of damage, he's very hurt. Rain going over the top, takes down Boar and Jarrett, gets traded for his troubles, but those 2 picks are big. Bull now underneath his team playing that little hut, trying to walk onto point, but they have not even tapped the capture yet.
And Bull and Zukima stuck in under. Kresnik trying to do what he can here. They do have some picks, but look at that, Zaggy. With such a long capture, moving now trying to make some pressure. Ooh, nice reflex.
Ooh, Melon. Yeah, getting that kill onto the enemy soldier. Now they're Ubering Zukima forward. I feel like I'm watching the imposters here. Solo Pyro Uber across point. And he's not going to get anything done with that. Sandblast is running into the enemy lobby. He's going to get on flash and is going to retreat and stabilize. While on a 4K, taking out Scratchy at the end there. Micah taking out Kresnik and Demento getting killed on his extend. Boar is going to trade that kill back onto Wild with a snipe, and Zuki gets a reflect, but kills are getting traded in both sides. The Wrangled Mini is so annoying here from Wax, buying a lot of space. And even though Boar has that kill, finally takes down that Mini holder and the Mini, Candy should finally get the cap back.
Adam holding out this dying breath. Syath opts not to go and chase Ray. It looks like she's going to survive unless Syath going and peeking in, going for the ball. Yeah, so Syath with that cleanup at the end there gets that combo, but Ray escapes with her life. 50% Uber for Ray, 75 for Bull. So Candy are looking to hold this. It's 1 minute left for Candy, about 25 seconds left for Cuties. So this round could still go either way. Cuties are going to have a slower Uber. They need to wait for it to build. We see Wild and we're about to take an SBS. Is going to be very important. And it is Wild getting the opening onto Kresnik. So big pick to work with so far. Mike as well getting killed to Scratchy. Candy are bleeding classes. They got to stop this. They have Uber, but Ray's going to be up on it soon. We always see in the clockwork you repush from bats here, but now look at this. Ray is already in position with Sandblast, 95%, 98%. They get the Uber off, saving their players. Sandblast zoning them out, and Ray, who only committed on 96%, has such a better Uber now. Even Rain blasting him on ramp. Adam comes forward to clean it up, and this is going to be a very, very convincing point capture here. What an Uber. There's such a big difference between how these two teams take Ubers right now. When Cuties goes across point, so both teams do the demo scout Uber across point try to get damage. But when Cuties is ending, we see Adam and we see Rain collapsing on those players who are retreating towards ramp, and it always results in a big play for Cuties. Candy have no response to it, and they can't do it themselves right now from what it seems. So recap for Cuties, it's 10 seconds for both teams. Candy have to suicide onto the point here. Neither team gonna have Uber, and Mike opening up with a kill onto Kresnik, so no heavy. Bull under threat at 1 HP, but he's gonna get saved. In the meantime, Sandblast takes down Muma, and there are kills in favor of K&D, but the Wrangled Mini again is up from Wax. It's going to be so annoying while shipping in, taking down Zukima. Sandblast coming into the cleanup, and that's another round for the Cuties. I was in the lab a little bit talking with Ray, who was saying that she was having some trouble with their team's Ubers and who to take and when and stuff, but you fixed it. These Ubers have been flawless from Cuties, like you mentioned, and they're so effective. Whether they use first, they use second, they get forced, they have ad. It's all working. Yep, new mid. Remember, it's first to 3, so if Cuties win this round, that's map over. They take their map pick. Scythe can go down immediately to Wild. Wild's on fire right now. Muma is well dying, so no flank for K&D. Adam is a trade, but Micah finding that stab onto Bull. No medic. K&D have to bot across point here, and they're getting shredded on this recontest. Cuties gonna regroup on bats and Shutter, looking to walk forward. They are getting shredded while killing Bull at the end there, and that's gonna be the mid for Cuties. Scratchy is doing work here on top with Zukima. They're gonna want to try and stall out a bit here, but they're gonna get shut out while hitting that drop shot. So yeah, Cuties another very clean mid for them, and a full Uber at this time. I'm a little bit terrified here, Zag, because this, especially after losing a mid like this, you're already down so much. you gotta keep such an eye on Candy's mental here. They go for the drive push right away. They do force Ray and Shutter. Sandblast working his way all the way through. Not able to find Bull. Bull, what a shot from Boar onto Rain in the skies. And Bull does go down to Micah Lele on the back lines.
Yep, amazing claps there from Cuties to get their med pick, but they do lose 5 for it, so they're not looking very good. Scythe in the recontest trying to chase down Ray. It's going to be an easy kill for him, and that kite out was very good. Despite losing their medic, they're going to take the point. And looks like they're going to get all their spawners up too, so Candy find their way back into the round. They only lost 40 seconds about, so they're looking good here.
It's going to happen that some pushes or holds don't work out and you lose your medic like this, but the recommit, and now look at this aggression. They are in Zagron. They're on the enemy team's bats. Tsukima, Demento working their way all the way through. This is a forward hold, ball forward.
Sandblast is standing still shooting Boar. Unfortunately, he doesn't hit the last meat shot, and Boar's going to get his life saved, so really unfortunate for Sandblast there. Scythe's going to trade it over 2 kills on Sandblast and Micah, doing a lot of work. Muma as well, taking down the enemy engineer and his nest. So Candy with this forward hold, they're doing a lot of work. Both still on the enemy fence, but they're going to drop off after that kill into Logan. Boar on a 5k. This is his first pop-off moment of the match, when it seems like.
That forward hold bought so much time for Candy. Again, now Cuties is on 50%. Bull's about to come up on Uber. They lose a couple people, but, you know, it's better to take the fight on your terms. Oh, and Boar.
Did Micah kill while fully invisible?
I can't say that I'm, I have no idea, but it's a nice shot.
Yeah, we see Bull holding on point. This is where your sniper holds if you have that space to work off. Rain failing his jump over. He's going to take him down to half HP, but shoots Muma in the back and whips him down. So doing damage onto that flank, taking down his opposition on the soldier class. We do see Candy trying to get this forward hold on point. Boar not watching the sightline right now. Although Demento finding that stab onto Adam is going to be big for their drop off. Right now Logan looking up on fans, and he gets 2 sticks onto Jarrett and 2 pipes onto Kresnik. Logan decimating him in Candy combo, and now it's just a solo onto Scythe. Meanwhile, it's to deal with multiple members, and they got to back out of this one. So Logan pretty much making that one easy, cracking open the can.
I'm sitting here scratching my head wondering how they're going to make their way through, but like you said, Logan just gets 5 stickies that each do 90 damage, and that's a point capture.
Yeah, amazing play by the Ringer demo man to get his team that point back. Cuties are at their first big deficit of the map, but they're going to look to make this one up as Ray has a 20% advantage to work with. Candy regrouping lobby side here, looking to drop off fans as well. Bomb over from Muma, trying to get some rockets down, but Sandblast is chipping him low. Doesn't take damage in return, although Boar has found the opening onto Adam. Micah dropping as well. Candy have the numbers advantage, and they're going to push onto point here. This cap is going to be free, Cuties are going to have to back up as they do lose 4 players. Around 80%, going to stay alive though.
There's 1 minute and 20 left on the clock for K&D here, so Cuties have this Uber ready to go, but if this fails, they only have time for 1 more before the round goes in favor of K&D for the first time this match.
Bull needs to charge. He's at 90%. He needs to make sure he gets that in time. Looks like he will be getting that one successfully. Scythe actually on a 9k right now, so very good work from him. Early Uber forced by Cuties. That's looking not very good. They don't even get over the roof. Logan gets air piped, and Sandblast gets dropped on the front end, so this one's a disaster. Free Uber for K&D. They're going to walk in and try to find their cleanup while getting caught out their side. It's 9k, see if we can find his 10, but it's going to be a clean retreat, and that push was just not well planned from Cuties.
Yeah, one really nice place from Jarrett, who actually double piped Ray and would have dropped her if she didn't force at that last second. But now you got to re-push and you got to do it fast. It's 38 seconds. You have the better spawns, but that only matters if you have enough time for them to respawn. So you got to get openings. Boar is on point. The rest of K&D is playing on ramp here. How are you going to break open this position?
Yeah, silver lining is at least Ray lived, but they're only on 60%. Whether or not they get Uber in time for this point is going to be debatable, and they have to force Candy off it as well, because remember, Candy just have to Uber and block. It's 17 seconds left for them. Here's the bomb over from Rain. Gets air shot by something and gets taken out immediately, and now they're trying to walk across point. Scythe does get wrangled down by Wax, so good pick onto that opposing scout. Micah is the trade on the other end. While winning that SVS is big, Cuties are now stacking the point. It's about who can get the Uber and pop first. Bull going to be onto the point, doing a lot of damage. Ray's so close, gets off just in time before Demento can stab her, and now it's about flashing your players, keeping them alive. Ronnie J getting taken solo, but he gets flashed, and now Cuties have point presence. It's about Zuki on the roof. Scratchy jumps down, takes out Adam on that one, but he gets taken out in return. Ray arrowing Zukima off that roof, and now Cuties, they're going to regroup here because they have faster spawns. They just need to cap this and try to hold. Candy are going to be happy with this because they got overtime, but very impressed by Cuties to make that one work in the end. So Candy, the Bull does stay alive as well, so even Ubers, 1 more cap is all they need.
I would have liked to see a dry push before getting this Uber, but I am very happy to see that Cuties commits when they're only on like 88%, where, you know, they might have gotten caught out if Candy had a bit better focus fire, but that means that the Cuties had an even better Uber on point with players who were in and already hurt and needing those flashes. So
Rain got destroyed by
so
Tsukima just now in secret. Reflects that rocket is taking him easily. So Micah on the enemy batch trying to revolver down Jarrett. Candy drop off point. They're trying to edge it and get it capped up. Although Bowling has 90%. Uber smash spy on him. Micah gets the kill. Candy have no Uber denied this and Ray's on 100%. Oh, Cuties gotta go forward and try to block this point. Candy are just gonna sack whatever they can. Scythe gets 2 good kills onto Wax and Wild, but free Uber is being used and their players are getting cleaned up. Candy actually do kite out a lot, so this is not looking too bad for them. Bull got the fast response, so they're kind of on even again, but another point saved for Cuties and they're drawing the time a bit closer.
With a minute left on the clock, K&D has plenty of time to get this Uber, but how are we going to dry push first? Boar getting Melon means no power to reflect. Muma's in, doing 120 damage to Ray. Ray does surf it up, but Syath is chasing on the ramp. He's got 1 shot, 2 shots, and there goes Ray. All of Cuties is dead except for a while, and now we get around for Kids Next Door.
Yeah, Candy did a really good job kiting out that Uber that Cuties got for free. They probably wanted to see if they could hold that, but at the end they kept all their players alive. Boar comes through the shutter, immediately takes down Melon and takes Ronnie J down to half. So Adam getting taken down on that one. That is the round for K&D. New mid coming out. Jarrett once again faster than Logan and actually kills him instantly. 2 very good stickies from the Candy Devilman. And now it's a walk across point for K&D. But Wild does hunt snipe onto Boar before getting taken down by Muma. So good jump onto the enemy sniper. Only fatality for Candy right now as everyone else stays alive. Spy gets caught and Ray gets chased down. Scythe getting that kill again. I'm not sure how many medic picks he has at this point, but very clean mid for K&D off of Jarrett's kill.
Rain comes in from behind Shutter and gets 2 rockets on the bowl, but it's not quite enough, so Kids Next Door here with a 100% Uber advantage.
Yep, and looking to hold on point. They don't have a forward hold because they need to regroup themselves after that chaotic mid, but holding on point with Boar is very dangerous. That bat sightline is very hard to peek. He's doing some damage, getting some headshots, but right now Cuties, they have a couple players really low. Rain needs a pack, they need to get players. They're holding up on bats right now. They could try and dry push or try and sack here because they do have a pretty big Uber diss out. Looks like they're going to walk players off the point. Ronnie J going under and Rain going over. Reflected immediately. Tsukima has his number this game. Rain goes down, Logan as well. So sack not successful for the Cuties.
Even Muma giving a little bit of a counter sack, taking down Sandblast on the enemy ramp. And Cuties are going to have to run with their tail between their legs and come back another day.
Yep, Sad chased down some kills at the end there. 3k for him, 3k for Scratchy, 4 for Jarrett, 4 on Muma, 3 on Muma, excuse me. So a lot of Candy players have not died yet and they got a lot of kills. There's Demento, his 2k, taking down Rain. Does get traded in the meantime. That's probably a bad trade because of your respawn timer and being spy is very important for comms. But Boar going to find the equalizer onto Wild, so very good for the Cutie, or for Candy. Now Cutie's going to drop off Fancer with Uber. Kresnik doesn't get saved, but they still have a lot of players forward on the point. It's going to be a lot of damage for Candy. Cutie's got to back off this one. And they did lose 1, but now it's the repush in from Cuties. Logan has a lot of damage onto Tsukima, takes him down, although they did lose Mike in the process. Rain gets a kill onto Scratchy, so no annoying Mini. Meanwhile, it's seeing Mini on the enemy bats. Wax going to go in from behind and do a lot of damage, but it's taken down, although the distraction was very helpful. His Mini and Wild. Oh, the Mini that he put on bats actually killed Ball in his retreat. So that Mini is the MVP for Cuties. Ray going to have an advantage off that. Types the lol in chat. That was the best Mini's playstyle game. Anyone's playstyle game.
You hate to see it if you're Bull, and Wax giving it to him there in the chat. So now we have 70% on Ray. Candy coming back in, but they already took a minute and 40 seconds off the clock. You're more than halfway there for K&D, so you get to breathe, get this force out, get a dry push after the force, get your own Uber up in exchange with them. You get to play your own game now for K&D.
Muma in over the top, finds 1 rocket into Wild too, taken very low, and Boar going to clean up all that damage, so Boar's 4k going to need them a lot to work with. Cuties have to Uber forward on point here. They're trying to find what kills they can. Demento and Kresnik get taken down, but Candy going to be happy with that one. They have the kills and the advantage. They just need to get the point now.
Yeah, Cuties dropped so many players with their bad spawns, but nice late pick from Sandblast on the point.
Yeah, Mini being very annoying as well, waxing it taken out at the end. Jarrett, his 8k is still going, and Candy are going to get this recap for pretty much free. They're going to have a 40% ad to work with. Cutie's trying to contest everything they have. Great, Soldier going over, 2 rockets clean onto Bull, Rain finding that crucial pick, and Kresnik getting taken forward on the point. This point now is going very well for Cuties. They have a sniper on fans as well, so Demento trying to find what he can, gets, ooh, he actually makes that alive. While going to win that SPS to Boar, and Logan takes Scythe out of the game with that pipe while cleaning up Scratchy. Logan also taking out Jarrett, so these pipes from Logan are hitting hard right now.
Muma was on a 40 health mission behind the enemy lines and manages to actually take down Weil with this dying breath. But if you're Cuties, this is exactly what you want. Time is about to be even. You have this full Uber advantage again. That was nice playing from KND, but it felt like in the last moments, Cuties just managed to get the right players in the right spots doing the right damage.
Yep, Candy rolling out Shudder and the fans here. Jarrett and Karasnik walking out. Muma goes over the roof. He gets reflected by Melon. Can't do much there, but Rain gets taken down. Micah and Muma trading on that side. But Wild finds that snipe onto Jarrett, and Zukima gets taken up by some stickies. Uber here from Cuties doing a lot of work, but as long as Bull gets out alive, Candy aren't too upset with this one.
Ooh, Boar trying to see if he can find a line onto Ray, who's playing on point right now. Sandblast does shove Boar back, and Boar's going to make his way back to the rest of his team to open the position now that Bowl is on 90% Uber for Candy.
Yep, Candy looking to go off this one. Scythe is in the Shutter with Jarrett. They're going to try to pop across point. Oh, headshot onto Adam's going to help take him down very quickly. Candy doesn't have to pop yet as they're edging point. They probably want to try and save this, but if they want to get on Ray, they might need to get forward. Bomb in from Rain here at the end to try to get any damage. It gets piped down by Jarrett, so easy retake for Candy. They only lose War for it. His spawn gets extended though, so Wild does have a bit of room. Full Uber going to be up for both teams in just a second. A bit of lag going on the server.
Well, it looks like we're back.
Wait, Bull got sniped by Wild! Off of ramp.
There's so
that's
many
a
trades
drop.
going back and forth.
What happened just now? The server like stuttered and now half of Candy are dead.
They just got Thanos snapped.
Pretty much. We saw Thanos come and take out half of Candy instantly, including their medic with Uber. Bull losing on that one. Logan coming forward, cleans up Jarrett, and Cuties have this point in fair hands right now.
They're playing together with their medic 2 on point. No one can really come in and do a lot of damage. You have 7 players protecting your medic. If you lose your medic at that point, something went very wrong. So they're playing calm, keeping it together, protecting Ray, getting this full advantage. There's only 22 seconds on the clock, but look how passive they are. KND is going to get some time on point, some high ground spot too. Even Demento is leading the charge with his pistol.
Muma's bomb gets reflected, but he does end up forcing that Uber with the call alone. So Cuties Uber not on point, get kills onto Demento and Jarrett. Now Candy have to recontest with the players they have left. Scythe and Zukima are the bastion here, going for it on point. Zuki gets taken out instantly. Kresnik trying to get on it. That big fat heavy body gets taken down instantly. They aren't on the point anymore, and that's going to be the round for Cuties. 3-1, taking their own map of Asheville.
Ooh, wow. As you remember, we both predicted this to go in favor of Kids Next Door, but after such a strong first round, you love to see it out of Cuties, putting in so much work, so much effort, so much damage. And of course, KND started realizing what they're doing wrong and making adjustments. But for Cuties to be able to counter the counter, that means they're a very strong candidate to take this match now that they're up 1-0 in the first round of the lower bracket in Highlander Season 7 playoffs.
Yeah, and we can take a look at the logs real quick here while we are switching servers. That's what we do have. In pregame, we were kind of set up that Logan would do a lot better than Jarrett, or that there could be a potential demo man difference. Jarrett actually went pretty even with Logan, even beating him on every mid. So I would say Jarrett had that upper hand on that one. Even if Logan had a bunch of really good plays, it was still very close from both demo men. So that was really nice to see both scouts as well. Over 33 kills, about 400 DPM each. So that couple I highlighted in the pregame were demo men matchup, scout matchup, big damage, big kills from both of them. Very impressive so far. Although Cuties, they had the supporting cast to make it work.
I'm also noticing, you remember last week where I would say even that Fallen Lord won that match in favor of Memento Mori by playing so well on Sniper. Here, we're sort of seeing the same thing where it's not like Weil really beat Boar in the Sniper versus Sniper fight so much. Weil kills Boar 9 to Boar 6, which is at least noticeable, but Weil gets a whopping 14 more kills and 4 fewer deaths than Boar, so that's going to give your team so many avenues to push the point.
Yeah, Micah Lele as well having an amazing game. 24 kills to Demento's 14, 400 DPM for the Spy of Cuties. I'm going to check his pick spread as well because it feels like all of his picks were really impactful. He has 7 heavies, 3 medics, 4 snipers, so really good picks from Micah all around. Taking out Kresnik as well a lot gives his team a lot of room to work with, especially because we know how much they love going aggressive.
And y'all know I'm a medic main, so I actually think, no joke, that the MVP of this map was Ray, the medic for Cuties, where she had 5 deaths to Bull's 12. Not only that, but Ray had 1,447 heals per minute. That's enormous, right? And not only was she staying alive, and this heal distribution and the raw heal amount were fantastic, but almost every Uber so coordinated, healing the right people at the right time, even in these clutch situations where she was almost about to die, doesn't drop it, and manages to keep everyone alive, and actually finishes on 0 drops as well. So very strong performance out of Ray, and I want to see her keep it up.
Yeah, looking at the logs and like just taking the context of the game with how a lot of the fragging classes played very good for both sides. The difference between the two teams really came in the support classes, with Ray having 6 more Ubers than Bull, a lot more heals put out, like you said, while outperforming Boar and Mike outperforming Demento. So really, those support classes, those Spy, Sniper, and Medic, for Cuties being the difference maker coming in that map. And now, very impressive by Cuties 3-1, take their own map pick. That's great. They needed to take their own map pick to take the series, because now we are on the Swiftwater, and I'm not sure how much they practice on Swiftwater, but I know how much K&D are confident on this map.
Yeah, this is such a different beast, right, compared to that King of the Hill, where Sandblast and Logan made so many openings, and like you said, the pick class is doing a ton of work. Ray outperforming Bull by a mile, but this is so different in that it's more based on the map. You have to keep Sandblast on this payload, so he's going to be in a cart jail for half the match. You have to work on your rotations as a team and where do you commit versus not. So the main callers for each team are going to be the main focus here as opposed to Koth. So K&D has a bit more experience, has a bit more map knowledge, I think, in situations like this, especially on payload. So this is a glimmer of hope for them, but if Cuties keep playing as hot as they are, then it's anyone's game.
Yeah, I think big thing to look at coming forward is how the Ubers are going to go, because on Asheville we complimented Cuties for how good their Ubers look. They had the right players in the Ubers, they had the right players supporting them, and they had the perfect collapses to just route K&D off of their repushes. So whether or not they're going to be that good on Swiftwater compared to K&D, we'll have to see that one. We do know that this map is a lot more different. It's a lot different from a Koth map, where your pushes a lot of the times are telegraphed. You know exactly where people have to go, and it's just there's a lot less open space to use on Swiftwater.
Something that gives me a lot of hope coming into this map is how we saw on King of the Hill that Cuties was ready to go at every single opening. Everyone commits. Logan is in, Sandblast is in, Ray is there to back him up and stay alive while she does it. So that's definitely a strong sign for payload here, where as soon as you get 1 or 2 openings, you have to change everything. Who's getting on cart, who's taking the space, who's going for more picks, who's staying alive, right? So having that coordination and cohesion is what's going to win you points and win you rounds here on Swiftwater.
Yeah, definitely, and we do have 17 players in the server getting ready for this one. Just Melon waiting to join up on a team. For those of you who just tuning in, map 1 is over. Cuties have taken their Asheville pick 3-1, up 1-0 in the series. Next, we are on to Candy Swiftwater. One more map is all Cuties need. If Candy do equalize, our last map will be Vigil.
And now we are looking to some predictions here, Zach, and I gotta ask you what you think.
This one is rough, because last one, I gave the Candy because I wasn't sure what form Cuties would be in. I now know that Cuties is in very good form, so I want to lean a bit more to them, but I'm not sure about the map is the big thing. This map, I really don't know how Cuties play it that much. I haven't seen them on it that much this season, and I know how much Candy loves this map, how much they're confident in it, so I want to go 2-1 Candy, just because I think that Cuties will be able to contest them and probably get a round. But for the sake of wanting a full 3-map series where we go all the way, both teams show us very good gameplay, I'll go 2-1 Candy, even though Cuties are playing very well.
Looks like all the boys in the lab in the chat are favoring Cuties here for this one. But you know what, Tag? Honestly, I think I do too, right? We
You're
talked
gonna flip
before
flop?
how,
Yeah,
yeah, right. Candy,
that's
after
very
losing that
fair.
one, I think they're gonna lose this themselves. Where even think, when's the last time that Kids Next Door bomb out last place in playoffs and no prize money, no placement? I mean, I haven't been around for the past couple seasons, for the first half of RGL. But what do you think?
Your mic's on a bit robot right now. I didn't quite understand everything you said, but from what I gathered, you're talking about how Candy doesn't really get out in last place. They're pretty much always at least a grand final competitor, and for them to exit in fourth here would be a pretty big surprise in the scope of the season. I agree. So Cute is playing very strong. I understand your flip flop onto Cutie's side for this map. I'm very close. My gut tells me if Cuties are going to win this map, it's 2-0. I think Candy completely collapses, which is very possible.
We'll have to see. And hopefully, I'm coming in clear here. And looks like we're
Yeah,
getting some
good.
of our players back in the server as well.
Yeah, so this map, Swiftwater, very long payload map. Some of the points are very snowbally. We're going to see the team with a lot of momentum who can build that and keep these points going. Going to take a big advantage in both in the real game and in the mental game. So yeah, Cuties, if they can get that snowball going, a 2-0 could be on the cards for them.
I gotta wonder here, Zag. Right? I mean, we talk about Boar is always the demon, the impossible opponent, or how hard it is to keep him under control. But we asked last week, where was he? And now this week too, not really putting up any numbers. So I
Yeah,
hope we get
Boar's
to see a
looked
bit of a resurgence.
incredibly mortal in this playoff so far, getting outperformed by Fallen Lord and now Wiles. So if the sniper diss side keeps going, QGs are going to have a lot of picks and a lot of plays to work off of. So it's going to be interesting to see how these players kind of transition to a very different style of map.
And we talk too a lot about snowballing in situations like this, right? Where sometimes if you lose 1 point, it's going to happen, but make sure you don't lose two. So it's going to come down a lot to, is Cuties maybe going to recommit in a situation they shouldn't, or maybe is kids next door going to get work their way into 1 point and suddenly spawn camp them on the next?
Yeah, our eyes are definitely going to be on the decision making that these two cores make, and whether or not they're gonna, win or lose with one key decision. So with that, we have all 18 players in the server waiting on the ready up. Swiftwater coming right your way. You got any different matchups to look at for this map, Rogue? Because we highlight Scout and Demo on the previous map, and they did a lot of work there. But Scout not going to be nearly as impactful on a map like Swiftwater.
I'm very interested to see how the spies perform. Like you said, Domenico was a little bit quiet on the last round, but he's basically one of the best we've seen in many of the recent years, right? So, Michael though was getting some more med picks, putting up just some more frags in general. So I think that's going to be a pretty pivotal matchup, I'd say.
I'm actually going to look at the medics for this one because Bull, he has shown a bit of rust in his positioning where he's dying a lot more than he probably should. Granted, if you're losing on Asheville, your med's going to die a lot. That's just the nature of the map. But if Bull, excuse me, it's hard having Bull and Boar on the same team. But if Bull isn't able to, kind of step it up to the level that at least close to what Ray's playing at, we might see a lot of Uber advantages and a lot of in Uber mechanics just go the way of Cuties that are key. And Swiftwater's second defense is going to be a big one because we know where Candy likes to put their medic. They like to have the medic stand underneath the staircase, and if the communications aren't clear and if your medic's mechanics aren't proper, then people could get dropped in those apartments and you could lose very quickly. In the meantime, we do have an update for you guys on the upper bracket finals between MM and Refrigerator. The first map was Upward, and Memento Mori beat Refrigerator 2-0 convincingly. So that match is at least going as expected. We have a bit of calm in the playoffs of sanity we've had so far.
Yeah, you almost get a little bit afraid to say Memento Mori should win this because we said last week, maybe Candy should win this, Cutie should win this, even now Candy should win this, but what do I know? My world is crumbling before me.
Your placement medal, it's getting further and further away as the match goes on.
Oh, wait, I'm on this roster. Hang on. Can I change my prediction to K&D? Is that okay?
Yeah, I'll switch mine to Cuties. So we keep some balance on the desk.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, we have readied up now. We're going to get started here. It's going to be K&D on offense first, Cuties on defense. Swiftwater. Cuties can take this map, can upset on their opponent's pick. They will be taking this lower bracket semifinal 2-0 and taking that third place spot at minimum with a chance at more. K&D fighting for their life in the meantime. They need to win this map if they want to go to Vigil and have a chance at the playoffs any further. If they fall here, it will be fourth place. No prize money, no medal for Rogue.
It's not for. I don't know if it was casted at all, but it was, of course. Where during the regular season, Kizextor was experimenting a little bit with holding first on defense. So just putting a little bit of a teaser out for the folks back home. We might see some interesting play here.
Yeah, I do believe they played MM on this map in the regular season, which was a very good match. Even though it was 2-0, both rounds were very close. And Candy, they pulled out some interesting things in that match. Whether or not it's going to fully translate to a match against Cuties, or Cuties have maybe researched or figured out how to deal with these things, we'll have to see. But in the meantime, 10 seconds left before these gates open.
4, 3,
And on blue, on the offense, we're looking to just get a couple picks and shove people off this high ground, you know, shove them back. Numa going in for a big high bomb onto Logan, but you just need to get this cart push on this very long point where it's not really worth it for the defense to lose too many players.
I love Boar and Wild just face off on that clear platform. Wild takes the win on that one, but in the meantime, Demento has stabbed Adam at the start, which doesn't normally happen. Sandblast getting lost as well, so this tunnel is looking a bit weak with no hit scan to kind of shove them out here. And because that Demento is going to get stabbed onto Wild, so Cuties dropping way more than they should. Peeking in Kresnik, getting the kill onto Melon. They're losing 4, and Candy are aggressive through tunnel. What a blunder from Cuties early. Oh my god, the gun is already there though. Taking down Jarrett, getting a bit too cute there.
Yeah, that late pick on the Jarrett is going to keep them alive, and Rain taking a fight with Muma in the tunnel, both of them going to escape with their lives. But look at that, the cart is so long, like even with losing all those people, they still have enough time for their respawners now that the cap's down.
Yeah, lucky that gun was up to save their back out, so now we're going to see Candy have Boar already inside tunnel. If this is uncalled, this could be very bad for the Cuties. We'll have to see what he can find. In the meantime, Shutter, both combos swimming out, and there's Boar taking out Sandblast from the side tunnel, so 2 picks he's gotten so far this game. And now it's going to be going through the Shutter is Candy with Uber onto Bull and Zukima, or excuse me, Jarrett and Zukima. They get kills onto Adam and the Dispenser. Meanwhile, the counter is out for the Cuties. We have, looks like Logan in the Shutter. There's no one to let them out! Let them out! They can't get out! Candy get trapped in the Shutter and they lose their medic. On the other hand, though, the fight was going kind of well for Candy. They get the sentry gun, but they're getting collapsed in on here. Sandblast gets the kill onto Muma, and Scratchy gets taken down. So with that, it's going to be Cuties holding still with a medic.
K&D was stuck as a stepsister, and Cuties were able to clean that up no problem.
Yeah, with that, they're going to keep a small Uber ad, and they're going to be able to reset here. The big thing is the sentry gun. With it down, Candy are rotating into tunnel. No thing to stop them on cart. We see Wild get that snipe onto Zukima, who was trying to edge. Boar trying to find the SBS, but Micah has stabbed Mula in upper, so a lot of number advantage. Scythe going down to Sandblast. Demento finds one trade, but now it's going to be a collapse onto cart coming forward. Kresnik gets taken out by Rain. Wild is stabbed, but in the meantime, Micah, 2k onto Jarrett and Bull. Combo of Candy gets wiped once again, and Ray's now going to have a really big Uber ad to work with, and they have time to get back into upper once their gun is built.
Demento's doing a lot of work now, where even in these really like small areas in these tight corners, he's able to get these picks onto Melon and these different players. So he's definitely trying to keep his team alive here. But yeah, you can't quite bleed everyone on the back lines when you're supposed to be on offense.
Micah does an even better job, and he gets his medic that advantage to work with, wipes their tunnel push out. And Candy, they're committing to this tunnel push. They figure what full Uber diss had. Let's at least try to crowd the cart and make them pop out and drop down on us. But while opening up with a kill onto Zuki, cart is getting pushed kind of far, but a lot of the players get taken down. Kresnik, Jarrett, and Bull dies again! Sandblast just comes through side tunnel. Excellent collapse from the flank of Cuties, and if they're doing that, they have to be aware that that's going to happen. Candy's looking really sloppy right now. They did at least force raise Uber, but it's a free Uber because Bull died late, so with that, it's going to be another reset, and even if they're getting the cart a bit further each time, this is taking a long time for Candy.
And these resets are so rough. Bull goes down again in spawn?
Yeah, spawn can't find Micah. That's a rookie mistake, letting your medic die on the roll. He died in the Shutter walking out, so yeah, Candy's not checking. You gotta wonder if it's a bit of tilt or lack of comms coming through. And Micah does get, killed for his trouble, but now Ray's another big Uber to work with, and they're fully set up on upper. I don't see the sentry gun right now yet, so they still have to build that one, but things are not looking good for Candy. We see Demento decloaking on the side here, trying to find the demo, but Adam finds him early. Logan gets saved. Candy are committing to the tunnel hold, or the tunnel push.
It's got to be so tilting in the mental game, but Muma manages to walk straight through Shutter and picks Ray in Spiral.
Yep, so big play by Muma to walk on that enemy medic and just get that kill while they're distracted on cart. So finally the multi-pronged attack with the cart push at least gets them something, but they do lose 6 in the meantime. Solace, Bull stayed alive, so they're going to have their first Uber ad of the game here. Meanwhile, Cuties have to get 5 players on respawn. Logan's very low as well, so they're going to have to probably look to back out here for Cuties. You're happy with this, though. You got a very good hold, but looks like Adam and Logan are still holding forward. They don't want to give up an inch.
Yeah, I agree with you here, Zag. Just, not cut your losses, like, quit while you're ahead if you're Cuties. Even, raise a little bit, hurt, you're on their way back in. Now how do you even leave if they start flooding through tunnel? And actually, they're working Boar and the rest of the flank through side tunnel.
They have to know that Bull has his first Uber advantage of the game. If they get caught in here, this could be a bad snowball, but we'll have to see how that one turns out in the meantime. Micah has killed Boar again, so no sniper for that offense to work with. Looks like they're all going tunnel once again. No one's in apartments either, so no one's going to be able to walk on Ray, but with full Uber, Bull's going to want to get forward. They do lose 3, though, so Candy kind of bleeding a bit.
They had a 4-player escort to bring Boar into side tunnel, and Michael Lilly still gets the kill. Michael Lilly is just unstoppable this round.
Yeah, he's doing great work. Third scoring his team behind the medic, and Soldier Rain goes through. But here's the Uber from K&D into tunnel here. They're doing a lot of damage. Ray trying to escape through choke, and that's a very good advanced call for Cuties that they know. They have to get out. They do manage to get their medic out, but they lost their engineer and their sniper on the back out, and you don't want to do that because now their setup is going to be very slow. The snowball isn't here for K&D, and we'll have to see if that refusal to back out is going to cost Cuties.
There is a full advantage and Demento goes down, but look at this. Ray is on 100% Uber here with Sandblast. They have no gun. And the banner coming out as well, using onto the cart. Logan is doing huge damage. Michael
found behind. Again. That's going to be medic going down for K&D, and Logan getting those kills onto Zukima and Jarrett. That's a slaughter in choke.
What a clean up. Even Sandblast doing the laugh taunt. Cannot believe his eyes about this poor performance. Logan on a 9 kill streak, picking up more at the end of that too. This is so dominant. What a fantastic Uber when we thought this point was dead and gone.
I wouldn't say I thought it was dead and gone, but there was definitely snowball potential there with all those players down, but a very good Uber in from Cuties. They had Sandblast go in, they had Logan jump over, and they had the banner come in, very big banner from Rain there to give them some space going forward. And now Candy have been reset. They're at a small advantage, it's only 20% disad, but 5 minutes through 2 points is the time we're looking at, and that is not good for Candy.
Yeah, it's so...
Bull is dead again. Micah is destroying Candy.
Dude, exactly. Like 5 minutes is pretty bad. Oh, Moom is in. Moom is still trying to play the game. 2 rockets on Ray. Yeah, manages to survive. But yeah, this is just so tilting for K&D at this point. Like, it's just salvageable still. Even if you play decently well, you can win this round. But they don't even have it in the hearts, it seems like, at this point.
Yeah, we'll have to see. It looks like they're going for the cart sack strategy again. They figure if we don't have Uber, we can just keep sacking on cart, you know, getting a bit further each time and get presence. And while it's not a bad strategy in theory, if you keep doing it and only getting a bit and you never have an Uber to contest with, you're never going to get that big chunk of yards that can get you a better time. So right now it's going to be 75% for Ray, only 40 for Bull, and they have Adam standing on the cart right now, so it's not going to get edged in.
It's amazing that Cuties are able to keep holding this, right? They have worse spawns on defense, so if you're on offense, you want to just keep getting picks and keep getting cart time, but Cuties is able to hold on to it just by the skin of their teeth here, and now they are mounting an entire hold with Uber now.
Yep, Candy grouping up in IT, gonna look to push through. We see Adam drop on cart while as well gets sticky down by Jarrett, so this is looking very good for Candy. They force that enemy Uber. Bull's on 85%, he's very low. Gonna get out with his life though, only 40 HP for Bull. 90% Uber, and Candy are edging the cart through once they got that heavy pick. Zukima and Scythe get that one through, and Demento finds that stab onto Ray. Very important there to get his med that full advantage to continue going forward, and Candy finally find their snowball play.
Demento getting that pick is the game changer. If you're Candy, you have to win this off that play alone. Demento gives it to you on a silver platter, so they work their way forward. They try and suffocate Cuties so that they can't even think about committing to fourth here. And now, the cart has a long way to go, but K&D is fully spread out and ready to hold this.
Yep, Micah with that stub onto Boar though, that's very important. With that sniper round, you can finally try to get some space here. Adam is on the ramp trying to contest Kresnik. The high ground heavy is going to have the advantage there, but he has Ray with him to arrow him back up. Now Logan trying to do some damage, but Jarrett getting that Uber in. Kresnik is taken down, Adam is betrayed. Both heavies dying. Demento stabbing while and Scythe cleaning up Melon. He's going to make the combo of Cuties really weak at this point, as well as having no sniper to back them up. So long way for the cart to go, but it's going to go non-stop, and that's a fourth cap for K&D. This should be about, what, an 8-10 time? 8:20. So they're salvaging this round a bit. It's still a bit slower than you want, but this is definitely still in the realm of possibility for Candy to get a usable time.
Hey, Cuties even got away with that little half commit. They committed their medic and an Engie with a gun, and now Weil gets a pick on the board. That's excellent, but Ray has a 50% advantage here, and they're set up, ready to go on last. And this point is notoriously quite difficult, where the offense has to push the cart onto the low ground here.
Yeah, multiple Ubers are normally required for this. That said, Bull's only at 65% to raise 100, so they're doing drive pressure, trying to get the cart as far up as they can right now. And they're getting a lot of pressure onto it, but collapse in from all of Cuties instantly. Rain with a 4K demolishes the combo, and Scythe gets a kill onto Bull as well. That medic pick is big. Candy are doing these plays where, yeah, you can try to pressure the cart, you know, bait some aggression out, but every time they lose their medic, and it's so bad for you when that happens.
We've been seeing a lot of in the modern meta of Swiftwater, where you just 9-man cart as a dry push, right? Because there's so many players, the cart's going to get so close. But here, Cuties just said, okay,
yeah, you want to keep your medic alive
cart,
when
we'll
kill
kill
70%. So, you know, that's just really either poor planning or poor execution from K&D, and now they're gonna have to just walk on cart dry. Jarrett gets sniped immediately by Wild. They're putting everyone through. Demento gets that enemy sniper. Logan as well dying, so very big plays from the spy of K&D. Uber is out here from Ray to just try and clean up the cart, get that clean. Bull did die again to Rain, so this soldier finding the key flanks to keep his med in the advantage, no matter what.
And look at that cohesion from Cuties. As soon as they dropped all those players, immediately Ray was already on her way to use the Uber on cart and just hold it, where it turns out it was completely useless and didn't need to be used at all. But it's so important that you still do it, because if you risk not using on cart, you could just lose the whole round right then, so you may as well get yourself that extra time.
Yeah, blue spawns are deceptively fast at this point in the game, especially with the teleporter, and Candy is going to keep trying to on cart. Bore Kresnik, Zuki, and Scythe drop immediately. That demo heavy on the high ground, demolishing the push. Demento is going to take down Adam for his trouble, but Candy once again lose 5. At least they keep Bull alive this time. You know, they're 2 alive, sure, but they have Bull charging, which is what you need.
The cart is quite close too. Now Melon having to play on the floor to make sure that there's no sneaky captures from a spy or something like that. Logan putting stickies all over the cart. One of them is about to it doesn't quite roll off. Some of these points you can't put stickies on.
Adam's got to be careful here, because even if he stands on cart, there's an angle where the heavy can still get shot. He finally goes near those barrels or his fist. Either one will keep him alive on that cart. Candy now 90% Uber. As are we really pausing here? Alright, we're pausing here. Candy, 90% Uber. They're all in lobby, and it looks like they want to walk offensive right side through those apartment-looking areas. Cuties look like they know as well, because all of their players are turned to look at that.
And Michael Lele is here in from the Blues perspective. We'd say he's in left lobby, right? So he's seeing all of Candy is going right lobby right now. The sniper, the medic, pyro, demo, scout. So Cuties is ready to go and return this exchange damage up here. Crucially too, Candy doesn't really have anyone who can get onto the point and start getting some cap time either.
Yeah, there's a fist heavy on cart, which can be hard to displace. It's just Scratchy and Muma in main. The mini sentry might get moved up as well, but so far it's looking like Candy are full committing to this left side push. We also see Demento is decloaking in the back, and if Dolphin get an aerial view of the defense right now, there are 5 players stacked on this area, this Spencer, looking for this Candy push, because Mike is calling it out. If no one looks to spy check, like Melon here, Demento is going to find a medic drop to win the game.
Yeah, this is terrifying. Oh, we've seen that Ray is not afraid to use when she needs to, as soon as the contact comes in, as soon as players start getting hurt, so she might use in time, but I can't quite tell. Maybe the decloak started already from Demento, so he might have just enough time. Yeah.
This is in his eyes. This is his chance to win the game. Another thing to mention is Weil is scoped up on the back platform here of the red spawn, so he's going to need to get taken care of in post, or else he's going to be able to rail off headshots non-stop. But in the meantime, we wait, and like a shark in the water, Demento is stalking his prey here. And this is the most important decloak we're going to see all game. Because if this happens for Candy, this is like, what, a 12, 11 and a half minute time?
Yeah, we've been here for a couple minutes already. I want to pick your brain a little. Remember, we saw Melon drop down on cart to defend, but actually she comes out and switches places with Adam, who's now defending the cart, so... What do you think was their idea into that switch of positions?
Well, you always want the heavy on cart when they can just sack on it, because he'll buy the most time with the fists out. He's just the tankiest guy. Whereas you can give him a lot of support from top the longer he's alive. The pyro will insta-die down there to hit scan, so Melon physically can't play down there if they're stacking cart.
We just had the results from our poll where Dolphin on production polling if Demento is going to drop Ray or not, and it looks like 66% of Twitch chat says no. So some of the brightest minds in our nation, Twitch chat is a bit of a think tank. But now Demento coming in, he gets the drop!
That's what Candy needs to get started here. Bull going to be up on Uber in just a second here. They're going to look to walk in through left side, going through the window. Micah gets killed early by Boar, so no spy to take him down. They're trying to get kills here. Melon taken out early by Jarrett and Syed, and now it's Adam on the cart. He's going to get isolated and taken down. Logan dropping to Syed. This is the push that KND needed off that Demento decloak, and we're going to be done with the half just like that. Ray gets a cheeky saw into Syed, but with that, that's the round over, and let me HUD reload so I can see the time.
Oh, me too.
11:14, so yeah, about 11 and a half. Kind of just guessing the time, but yeah, that's not the best time if you're Candy to push. It's kind of on the slow side, but you're not, out of it yet. You can still make this hold happen. It's a doable time on Swiftwater. You just need to make sure that your holds are good and your backouts are better. Getting snowballed here is your worst enemy.
Absolutely. Yeah, you have to make Cuties work for each of these points, and Cuties had some very strong recommits, right? Like we saw them when they were on third, they managed to use in, they had 4 players alive, but Ray and Sandblast managed to hold it off until the rest of their spawners come in. On fourth, they were able to give a half recommit, including their medic and engineer with the gun, and they still make their way out to hold last. But, we saw Demento giving his team every opportunity on second. Now we see Demento on last, winning that push for his team single-handedly. So it's definitely gonna, he's gonna have to do a little bit of a Michael impression and try and keep Ray locked in the respawn cabinet, just as Bull was before.
Yep, Rain as well had a big hand in that. And something I want to point out on the scoreboard is both snipers are very low, but meanwhile Rain, the soldier for Cuties, is on the top of his team, meanwhile Moon's on the bottom for his team. So very big difference coming through in that soldier. And as I said that, he immediately gets sniped by Weil off that roof. So now it's going to be a bomb over by Candy, pretty standard here, trying to get Kresnik off it, or by Cuties rather.
And let's not forget, Payload is played as a best of 3 on just this map, so if Cuties win this round, they'll be up 1-0, and its first of 2 will win Swiftwater.
Yep, so we're not going to be down immediately after this, and Logan did get a kill on Jared at the end, so that was fun, but everyone's going to be respawned and ready for this second push. We're going to have to see what Cuties decide to do, if they're going to send anyone side tunnel early. It looks like Rain is already here spamming the gun, and if that doesn't get wrangled, it's going to go down. One more rocket, it does get wrangled in time, and it gets taken out by side from the clap, so good job defending that gun, but Cuties have a lot of presence in tunnel here. The part's getting the card up before they rotate into apartments.
That gun would have been such a great pick to work their way in here, but right now, Cuties are opting to push from the floor, as we saw K&D started their Uber in upper, so...
Yeah, they're probably going to get the card up here, then leave.
Oh, you think so? I've seen a lot of teams Ubering out of main, actually.
Maybe, we'll have to see. I've seen them leave pretty much every time I've seen them play the map, and they're going to lose Adam immediately, so... Ooh, they're going aggressive here. While going to find that sniper on top board, that's a big opening, and that might tempt them to taking this because there's no sniper who can take you down, but the gun's going to be a big deal here. It actually gets moved. It gets taken out early, so it's going to commit this tunnel push. 4 Cuties, they're walking out. They don't even have to pop yet. First pop is out by K&D, but they do drop Logan in the meantime, while as well getting taken down, so this is looking pretty good for the defense here. Not enough players left on the cart. Ray getting chased down by Zukima. He's going to find that flame kill onto the enemy medic, and that tunnel push was not the play that they wanted to make.
It looked like such a fantastic milk for a while. Rain going down as a late death in upper, and Wax even getting stuck all the way in behind. Has a little bit of a cheeky mini sentry that goes down too. But you think that was such a great play with how long that Ray was able to milk, but losing your demo man turns that into a really nice Uber to a terrible Uber, so it didn't quite work out.
Micah just dies in the off time. Meanwhile, Weil gonna win that, so they're gonna take down Scythe with that headshot, and now he's gonna look to fight Boar. Melon kills Demento though, so both spies down for this push, and they're committing to the full tunnel pressure. They're gonna keep going for it. Gun's only level 1. Heavy trying to get on the cart. Adam is there, but they're gonna get dropped on. Logan Sandblast gonna get taken down. Adam drops as well, and that should be Melon going down. So cart gets tapped a little bit further. They keep Ray alive. We might see this become a permanent adaptation on Swiftwater, where all you have to do is, build your medic in spawn, make sure your med doesn't die, and just keep edging the cart closer a little more each time. And unless we can see defenses kind of take advantage of that, there really is no easy counter to that, because you either have to give up your spot to chase them, or you just have to let it happen.
And finally, we have some breathing room for K&D. They get a chance to take their ad here, and actually a little bit of a dry push kind of peak from Cuties in tunnel, but K&D now gets their Uber, Scratchy working the gun back up. They're getting all their ducks in a row as they get ready for this hold.
Yep, gun gonna be about level 3 for Scratchy here. Gets built up, watching the cart as Cuties looking like they want to continue their tunnel pressure. Gonna come up on Uber now for Ray. Inside tunnel, Scythe takes that kill onto Rain and takes Sandblast very low, so flank looking strong for K&D on this hold. We're gonna have to look at what the snipers like to do here. Scythe also kills Micah, so no offensive spy to work with. Wax cart pusher gets piped out in upper, so looking pretty good. But they're gonna Uber in anyway with the Mantis side. Trying to get on cart are the Cuties. They have 3 people Ubered onto it, but they're getting jumped on fast. Logan and Jarrett trying to do a lot of damage to each side, but Scythe has the collapse, going to take down Adam on that one, and the full drop is very successful for K&D. They keep all their players alive. So do Cuties though. They're going to look to repush this in a second.
You got the Uber out of K&D, you got them off the high ground, now you recommit. Logan goes flying through the air into the high ground, doing a ton of damage in upper, getting bored, but he goes down for it. Losing a demo so early is not going to let you win this push.
Yep, Demento as well cleaning up Weil on that side, so no cheeky sniper play, finding that med pick where you really shouldn't. Then that's another successful hold for K&D, but the cart does edge ever closer to that coveted second cap. Meanwhile, both medics going to be on Uber. Ray has a 10% ad, shouldn't be too much to work off of, and it's going to be just another reset here on second point. 7 minutes left. There's been 4 minutes and 15 seconds off the clock, so K&D are getting kind of close to a point where you're like, this is good, we're on pace. They are on pace so far, as long as they can hold the second point for just a bit longer.
Even Ubers are coming up here too. This is a crucial fight.
Apartments rotate. They're done with tunnel. This is screw tunnel.
They tried a little bit. Adam taking a bit too much. Logan taking a bit too much. Now finally the Ubers working their way in. Logan taking it into upper. Gets Bull right away. Wild takes out Psyop too. Bull is milking and milking. Jarrett's on the low ground, but this Uber is fantastic now for Jarrett and Bull. But there's the cart.
Yeah, cart just gets capped up, and I do not agree with what any of that Bull did. He dropped his pyro so they couldn't air blast that into the shutter. They couldn't collapse on cart because there were too many threats coming in, and that's an easy cap for Cuties, and they have 5 picks as well to work off of. There's no gun up, and the sniper is not set yet. We're walking out now, but Cuties could be snowballing this.
There's no Ubers on both teams, but ×3 on the cart. Right now, K&D getting the recommit, and they just clean up everyone on cart. So when Cuties was split up, having half on cart, half in office, you know, they just lose everyone on cart in like a 9v4 from Kids Next Door. So they're going to get a little room to breathe, and definitely are going to get an Uber up by the time that Cuties starts getting more cart time. So again, you're thanking your lucky stars if your Kids Next Door getting to hold this for more and more seconds into minutes.
Yeah, shout out to Kresnik there because he found his 7th kill of this life, taking down Logan on that push forward. So with that Demo Man down, their position was solidified. Meanwhile, while in this apartments found a pick onto Jarrett, enemy Demo Man going down early. That's very big. Candy are going to respond by pushing into choke here and taking down Ray with that flame from Zukima. Kresnik finds his 8th onto Adam, and that was a very good response to that sniper threat in apartments. Just push forward and take down the enemy main force in choke. So Candy are going to keep holding this with a full Uber advantage.
Sandblast is stuck in behind enemy lines. He gets just a little bit of damage off and gets cleaned up. But yeah, now 100% Uber ad for K&D. Like they're doing everything right essentially to get back into this round.
Yep, 5 minutes left on the clock for 3 points. They are very much on pace to beat Cuties' time on defense here. And with that, look to see what the Cuties want to do with this. They're not going to have Uber, anytime relatively soon. So they're going to have to just stall out and wait for it or try and find a play with this time they have.
Looks like they're working their way through main, trying to give an angle to Wild. Logan seeing if you can get some damage onto Kresnik through main. Yeah, you look for whatever opening you can get here while you're waiting for your Uber, but losing your demo is not what you want to see.
Yeah, but it's fine though. Ray's only at 70%, so Logan will be spawned and teleported in while dying to Muma though in apartments. Looks like he was alone as Muma took care of him. And looks like we're just going to be slowly waiting for this one to come forward. Ray on 95% Uber, getting that Demo Man respawn coming in shortly. And Demento's calling all this out. He's cloaked up on second. He's able to see everything that Cuties do. Thinking about how Candy respond to it. Apartments fight going up, Muma gonna get the pack, Live, see another day. Gonna have to jump out though. And both soldiers are on the banners, so we'll have to see how these banners impact the fight. Looks like Cuties want to go. They're putting people through choke here.
Oh, Michael Lilly just barely missing a stab on Jarrett. Bull having a fantastic milk onto Jarrett, not even having to use it all. They're here with 100%. Cuties didn't even make any space, get any picks on their way in.
Yeah, that was a really one-dimensional push through choke. They have some people in apartments, but they're going to get wiped off the face of the earth while it gets cleaned up. Sandblast gets cleaned up. Science does get traded at the end, though, so there is some space to work with there. Kresnik on a 10k now hasn't died on this hold. Going to take down Adam for it feels like a bunch. But in the back line, we do see Soldier come in. Muma takes down Ray. So they're going to keep that 100% advantage, and Ray can't even charge to come close to it. So K&D now with 3:30 on the clock, and they're in very good position to win this entire round.
Yeah, Michael Lilly trying to come and clean up onto Bull, but Candy decides maybe our medic can live this half. Maybe we'll let Bull play the game. So he's going to still have 100% advantage as Cuties working their way through main.
Yeah, Logan gonna get taken down for feels like the 5th time through the shutter. Adam gets collapsed on as well, and K&D, this choke push is not working out for you. Sandblast in behind, gonna get taken down. Can't get anything going. Ray dies again to Muma. Feels like the opposite of what happened on Asheville, but this is gonna be another hold for K&D, and Bull not having to use Uber a single time after that initial stabilization, and K&D are looking too strong on this 3rd point.
And this is so much time again. There's 245, Zach, but if you put this cart ×3 all the way to the end, probably takes a minute in itself. So you got to come up with something right now for Cuties.
Yeah, Cart's in the grand scheme of things only halfway through Swiftwater. You can see on the map, and it's even moving backwards right now. So Cuties losing time by the second. Wild gonna look to scope in apartments here, tries to find an opening pick. They need anything to work with. Muma did die to Adam, but they need something bigger. They need an opening here, and they need to keep going and don't stop the entire time.
Do you remember how much time was left after they had gotten second?
Like 7 minutes or 6 minutes, we see Micah decloaking on the people in IT, gonna find a pick onto Syath or trades onto Wax in the meantime, and now Adam gonna go down again on this cart. Logan is in IT trying to find something. Rain gets destroyed by an air pipe by Jarrett, but in high ground here, the IT push is successful. They're getting a lot of damage onto Candy and they're holding them up here. Zuki gonna go down. Jarrett finds a good pipe onto Logan to even that one though, so now Demoman advantage in the favor of Candy, and importantly, Bull still hasn't used a single time in the past 3 minutes. Now Cuties gonna rotate out to choke here.
I think that's what was missing from Cuties, is coming in from this high ground. Even now they try to rotate their main in the end. Muma even going for some little bit of a pick on the Ray, doesn't work out, but you know, they just had so much success going in from that high ground, but then they left and went into main, and now look, they're dropping Melon into main. The rest of their team is still working their way in, and I hope we don't go into main with this Uber, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, Adam's on the cart with the fist. He needs to push it anyway. We're down to 1:15 left on the clock. This thing needs to keep going non-stop, but Candy are going to use Uber to deny that. It is a bit of an even trade on cart so far, but damage is coming in the favor of Candy. Adam goes down. You know, Borg gets sniped. Logan is cleaned up. Sandblast and Rain going down to the explosives and Reflect. This is a pretty one-sided fight for Candy, but 2K from Micah. Jarrett and Muma going down, doing a lot of work, but it's not enough at all. Candy are going to keep this hold going, and at this point, the time is probably impossible. Candy are going to take the first half here.
Okay, while we have this time, if you're a soccer player, right? If the goalie's on the left side, you want to kick to the right. Ooh, what's happened there?
He quickscoped Scythe in his face.
Damn. But, you know, if the goalie's left, you want to kick right. If they're right, you want to kick left. But here, Cuties go and meet K&D, who are on the floor already. K&D are all around cart, and Cuties just meet them there instead of taking the high ground. K&D is playing on the floor, so they're giving you office or IT here. That's such a great vantage point for you to take this Uber, and even the dry push worked from there. So for them to keep taking these Ubers on the floor is so confusing to me, and I hope they make an adjustment in the next round.
Yeah, not working out, and they don't have an adjustment ready. It could be that this isn't their map pick. Maybe they didn't even expect to be competitive on this map, which, you know, it's a fair assumption. You could say we're going to take our map, and we'll take a third map. You know, just don't put in as much prep for Swiftwater, because it just looks like they're not nearly as ready for their pushes on this map. As we do tick in finally K&D taking that first round as time expires.
I mean, really, 11 minutes and 14 seconds was such a fantastic defense from Cuties. It's amazing that they were only able to get, in 11 minutes and 14 seconds, Zag, they get 2 points, but one of them is free. So they literally capped one real time in 11 minutes and 14 seconds.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Things looked pretty good for Cuties at the start, and if they were able to bring together a competent offense, then, you know, we make arguments for them winning the entire map here, but it just looks like they're outclassed here on this map. They don't really have much plans going forward on their offense, and even if they are able to hold defense through sheer, you know, willpower and great play alone, it really just, I don't have much to say about their offense there. When you get stuck on third is, in the scheme of Swiftwater, the easiest point to cap besides first, where you should really not have that many problems taking this. Second and fourth and last are a lot harder in terms of, you know, general perception, and it just feels like they're lost. We got the logs up on screen for you guys. We're comparing the team Scythe, top fragging with 26 on Scout, even DPM with Sandblast, but, you know, the cleanup is what matters with how many frags you're able to get for your team there. Did a very good job of that. Looking through, a lot of the classes were pretty even across the board. However, there was a big discrepancy of kills overall, where 26 kills went in the favor of K&D, 6,000 about more damage for K&D. So it really wasn't close, although you can say a lot of it came at garbage time where, you know, Cuties was funneling into third like ants, ready to die. But yeah, small advantages across the board for K&D, and they really just played a lot better overall, even if their offense looked a bit sloppy.
Sorry, just lost my mic a little bit there. I hope I'm coming in clear.
Yeah, you're back now.
We talked a lot about Bowl dying so much on offense there, but actually in the last minute here, Bowl goes about even with Ray, who of course died at the last second of the first half there. So the medic's actually going even though Bowl got so outclassed by Michael Lele and put in his place at the beginning of this match. So
yeah, Ray was dying on cooldown on third.
Yeah. Yeah, right. I mean, credit to K&D for being able to keep Bull alive, and especially by playing on that floor area, you have so much cover from the high ground, and you get a great avenue into cart. The only thing it doesn't give you is obviously high ground, since it's low ground, but the Cuties didn't take advantage of it pretty much at all, especially when they were finally able to get these Ubers. But we saw a drop even from Zukima onto Ray when they were trying to push through main, and Dementa doing some solid work calling out the plays too. So they definitely earned it on that third hold.
Yeah, and like this isn't a big like looking at the logs and like at the scheme of the game, this isn't a big outclass in terms of DM or anything. Like you can see across the board, even there was a 26 kill difference. None of the classes are too different in their damage and kills, except for Pyro, which I mean, yeah, Zuki doubled Melon's frags and DPM, but that really doesn't matter. It's really just about how these teams decided to play their offenses. And Candy, it got sloppy at points. Things weren't the best, although they did get across the finish line. Cuties were just not even ready to continue the race after second.
If you're Cuties now, you're definitely taking this time to talk things over, figure it out, right? How do we want to get third next time? Hopefully someone lent a little bit of an ear to the stream and saying, please do not push on the low ground 5 times in a row. But who's to say?
I'm sure they're talking about it and they know that that's obviously not the play going forward. But yeah, we're gonna have to see some adjustments from them if they want to stay in this map. And granted, this is Candy's map pick for all of you just tuning in. We are 1-0 for Cuties. They took Asheville 3-1. But Swiftwater looking pretty good for Candy here to equalize the series. And if Cuties really don't, have much to say left on this map, that's really fine for them, as long as they are able to perform Vigil. But say they do have some stock in this map, their adjustments coming forward need to be pretty swinging.
And we saw Cuties playing so strong on the first map, which is King of the Hill. But the thing is, our decider map on Vigil is also a payload map. So if Kids Next Door is able to be this calm, cool, and collected on a payload, while I would say they're better on Swiftwater than Vigil, it's going to be a pretty tough match for Cuties to get back into that if they're not able to get another round here.
Yep. Meanwhile, we do have an update for you guys on the upper bracket finals match, versus Refrigerator. After took map 1 2-0, they are now ahead on Steel. They won their first half with a 3.5-minute cap to Fridge's 7.5, and they've set a 6.5-minute time in the second half. So we are waiting on that last result. Things could be over on that side of the bracket very quickly here, with taking that 2-0 and earning a grand final spot. Winner of this match would end up playing Refrigerator in that case for a minimum second place.
And it looks like the team's finally readying up here, starting into the second round. But we have yet another minute of setup time to chat and hang out, have some fun.
Yep. So we are in the game here. Candy starting out on defense. So this is definitely very good for them in terms of momentum, because they just held the Cuties on third, and now they're probably going to be like, all right, we're just demolish them on defense. We just do it again, take an easy Swiftwater 2-0, go next map with that even scoreline. Cuties, any adjustments they're going to put forward, we got to see them right now.
Shout out to my grandma who's enjoying this broadcast here on a Monday night. If you guys want to show some love in the chat, I'd appreciate it. And now I'm so excited to see now what kind of adjustments Cuties are able to make, because we saw on King of the Hill that when they were kind of getting shoved out of these points and when they needed a repush, they kind of leaned on Logan and Sandblast to come up with something. But as we saw in this first half, it was sort of a team decision where even if these players are good in their own right, the call wasn't quite accurate in what they needed to do to break open the holds. So there's a lot of thinking you got to do for Cuties.
Yep, the gates are now open. Crit Sticky's forward on the roof, as well as Scout for Candy. Cuties walking onto that cart, getting ×3. Looking to push it as fast as they can. Stickies end up killing Black, so he goes down early. Bomb over for Logan. Trying to get some damage down, gonna get taken down instantly. So pretty standard so far. No one important has died yet for this first push. Bomb from Rain, gonna try and find the kill on the side. One more rocket, can't find it. Ooh, doesn't hit the splash. Both players will end up living. Everyone's alive. Cart is rolling up to that capture.
Moomer just jumped all the way to Cutie's spawn and got a 30 damage rocket onto Ray and then died.
Hey, that's the play. You raise your DPM that way. Either way, back out is close here. Candy getting, Candy going up to second, putting that gun down, getting ready for this onslaught from the Cuties. Looks like it's a gun forward on kind of the platform, close to where the combo holds an upper, not in the middle, which is kind of the newer spot. He is going to end up moving it once it's fully built, so everything looking good for K&D. Cuties looking up for their tunnel push. Remember, last round, they started with a tunnel Uber, so we're going to have to see if they decide to do the same thing.
They'll have their medic positioned in tunnel for now. I mean, the last super, the first time they're using out of tunnel, the problem is they drop their demo man. So if they don't drop their demo this time, they might make it work. But the cart's actually getting pretty close here, making some good space. But they're taking more and more damage the longer this takes.
Yeah, they lost their sentry gun there, though. I think it was a combination of Enforcer and Sandblast Pistol, so it gets taken down very quickly. Micah now going to look to walk forward, see what he can do. Scratch rebuilds his gun on the ground. Flank tunnel fight going through here from both flanks. Looks like Rain and Sandblast going to come out victorious on that one, take down Muma and force Scythe out. So looking good for Cuties so far. As they rotate their combo upper, they're taking that Uber through apartments. They're trying to find anything, but Zuki doing an excellent job denying here, and he gets the Uber in from Bull. Very clean hold from Candy. They don't lose a single thing in upper.
The Bull made so many adjustments in that hold too, right? We talked about he dropped some people or maybe didn't have the quite right idea, but this time just use on your pyro. He's the only one who takes damage and stuffs them in the doorway.
Oh, but look at that. Candy had to drop on cart because the flank from Cuties ended up winning, and now Cuties are running through upper in response. They end up taking down Kresnik, although they're trying to fight for space right now. Adam gonna get taken down, Wax as well. So it was a good idea from Cuties, but just not executed properly.
And with them trying to shove their way back into this high ground too, it was like you said, a nice idea, but they didn't have enough players. And Michael Lily with a really fast stab onto Boar right around the corner.
Starts to the pack too.
Wow, no sniper. That's a great green light for you if you're Cuties.
Yep, now they're going to walk forward, and Candy don't have anyone in upper, and Micah's calling this. He knows that they're just walking up now. Going to decloak onto Muma and takes out that banner user, so that's a very big pick by Micah, opening up the space for his team. Cuties are going to walk forward through Shutter here with this Uber, and immediately shred Kresnik. Dementor goes down in the backline as well. This counter is in here for Zukima. Getting that Uber, it's going to be Jarrett trying to find some damage, but Heavy on high ground is so threatening here. Adam's going to drop down onto the combo, trying to shred them, takes down Logan in the meantime with the help of Boar, but they're going to be traded back onto. Now cart pressure in here for Cuties, trying to get anything. Scythe is in the backline, trying to hit Ray. Scythe can't hit Ray. One more meat shot, gets help from Muma, and that will be the med pick for Candy on the back end. Bull stays alive with 30 HP, so even though they did lose that point, they should be able to stabilize here.
It was a little bit like we see on Upward, right? On Upward last, where Cuties say, okay, now that we got you out of upper by us going into upper, now that you're on the floor, we're going to meet you on the floor, and manage to get all of the picks that they need. Bull does have a 30% advantage, but right now Ray is not quite in position to support the rest of her team. Cuties have Wax a little bit, just keeping up the cart pressure, keeping Candy honest, and we have a little bit of a reset while we build some Ubers.
Yeah, moment of truth here. This is where Cuties got stuck last time. They're 50% Uber disad, so they need to just wait it out and build up. But they need to show what they've adjusted for right here. If they can't have a hard time pushing this third, we could have a repeat of what happened on the last round. Candy looking to hold this the same way. They have all the players on the ground. Gun gonna get built up once Scratch gets out here, and Boar finding the opening pick onto Logan's gonna buy them more time for that gun.
Now Boar's here on a 5 kill streak. Huge bomb in from Rain.
Oh, he gets Bull!
He gets Bull!
He drops Bull on the dispenser with 2 rockets. That's amazing play by Rain to open up space for his team. Muma as well going down at the end to Sandblast Scattergun. And now Cuties are going to flood in here. Sandblast isn't alone. You guys should be going faster. You have a med and a sniper pick. I don't know where the Cuties combo is.
They're on 85%. I mean, if you want to wait and get spawns, filled up and get the super, that's fine, but
they had so many advantages to work off of. They are going to go through now. Zuki gets taken down, Melon backstab in the meantime as Kresnik gets dropped close. And yeah, this is the safe play. It's going to work out for them. They're taking down Candy in the spawn. Bomb in from Jarrett trying to get out alive. He does get out through that choke, and now that the cap up is in from Cuties, they did lose a lot of players, but they got it. That's probably the hurdle I wanted to overcome the most. They probably figured we got stuck on third last time, just get our Uber, 85, build up to 100, why not?
These teams are getting to the top of the ramp at the same time, so if one of them manages to get a pick over the other, this is going to be whether or not K&D can commit. Logan putting in some big damage, Michael Lily diving deep, getting the gun. So right now, Cuties is getting the cart closer and closer, but K&D is on 60% Uber.
Yep, Cuties playing this rock and tree area where they're trying to get some damage down. Zuki goes down early to wax his gun, but while gonna get a headshot onto Boar, that's very big for the offense. Don't have to worry about that sniper anymore. Kresnik as well dropping on that head glitch. He's gonna go down. Scythe losing that scattergun fight to Sandblast as we do have Dolphins game crashing. We'll do a bit of a radio cast for you guys. Cuties continued rolling Candy off of 4th, and they're gonna get this cap up very cleanly. They have everyone alive. Both meds are on Uber though. So we're gonna have a pretty big contest here coming on last.
Right now, it's 5 minutes and 36 seconds. Cuties does capture the point. So the Ubers are even right now as Cuties is working their way into last. Kids Next Door has only a level 1 gun on last, but they have even full Ubers.
Yep, so it's going to be about where Cuties decide to take this and how fast they do. We didn't see Cuties last push last round because they didn't get here. Wild's going to open things up with a pick onto Muma, so no banner in the meantime. Demento is going to stab Logan, so they're going to have to wait for that demo man before they're ready to go. They are bleeding time because both meds do have Ubers, so that demo man pick is very big.
With a long respawn timer, even Boar getting a pick onto Melon as well, Wax going down. There's so many players getting bled, but Boar does get traded by Rain in return.
As long as Ray doesn't have to force, it's fine. They're just getting some cart time and waiting for spawners, but they are going to lose time as this goes on. Micah trying to cloak to upper lobby, seeing what he can find. Gonna have to go down and see that area. Now Cuties with all their players up. Let's see what they want to do. They have their medic and demo man in here, but Scythe in the backline gonna force Ray early. No one was watching that area. He's gonna get piped and killed for his trouble, but that's a very big force from Scythe. Now Cuties have to try and find their way in here. They can't do it. Their Uber is over. Very big force by the scout of K&D to give his men advantage, and they're gonna drop down here and try to clean out Cuties.
Krezzik working his way all the way in. Bull committing here, but doesn't even need to use. Look how far back Cuties has been shoved. Even Muma coming in, making some last minute space. Sandblast deciding to challenge God and fight 7 players from K&D and goes down for it.
Yeah, Jarrett's 7k on Rain. They're buying a lot of space, and they're going to keep walking forward. Adam goes down, gets caught out, and this is amazing from K&D. With all that aggression, they're going to look to push forward onto 4th here. Their gun is kind of backing them up as well, and Micah wants to get a spy edge. He's going to get caught for his trouble, but does escape because of Spicicle, while finding a snipe on the side. That's pretty big for opening up space here, and K&D, it's about when they back out here, because remember, there's no 4th spawns here. If they lose people, they have to walk the long way.
This is so much time, and look how much Cuties has to do to even get K&D off this high ground. If you bleed too many people, that's not good. Boar goes down. They do use the super at Disad. Look how close Ray is. They're not able to clean up on Ray. Demento decloaking and gunning down the wrong person.
Logan trades 1-for-1. That's a very good trade with that pipe in his face, and Ray does get out with her life.
And 50% advantage, huh?
Yeah, K&D had a force there in a bad position. Sandblast's going to take on Muma on the back out as well, and Wax with that level 2 wrangled gun bought some space and going to be able to build that one up on the top of the ramp, as now K&D are resetting back onto last tier, but the Uber Disad could haunt them.
Cuties does have to clear a lot of angles here, but it looks like they might even opt to go down cart. They send just Adam for now. Logan ready to work his way up the right side. They use the Uber early.
Yeah, they're up on ramp here. Zuki goes down early as well as Kreznik and Demento. Melon gets stabbed in the meantime as Side is fragging onto Adam, so no heavy. Revenge crits for Scratchy doing a lot of work, taking out Logan to 1 HP. He does live though until Scythe cleans him up. So with that, they're going to look to collapse on point, but it's just Scratchy and Muma now. They lost a lot of players. They're going to have to just jump on it with everything they have. Scratchy and Bull get on that, and that's going to be the Cat 4 Cuties in 8:25. So that's definitely a big improvement for what happened in the first half. And now K&D have to push time that they haven't pushed yet.
Yeah, great playing from Wax there on the end of the round. And Logan hit a triple pipe juggle onto Jarrett. One of those was even a reloaded pipe for the last one. He just keeps Jarrett out of the fight. And, you know, if Jarrett had survived having those explosive damage on the high ground, that might have given K&D a chance back in. But, I mean, 8:25, it did take them 3 minutes to capture last from some very strong play from K&D, I think. But this is holdable if they're even able to get close to what they did last round.
Yeah, it was very interesting watching K&D push out of last with that Uber advantage once they got those players off of cart where they tried to forward hold. And while it did buy them time, they lost their Uber in the meantime. They didn't get the kill onto Ray because of Logan blowing himself up to take down Demento. So it was a good play in the end there to save his medic. And we'll never know if their time would have been better or worse with that forward hold. But either way, that's what has panned out here. 8:25. Cuties are going to be happy with that on this defense.
I'm just doing some mental math here, Zagron, thinking that since Oblivion stepped down, wasn't feeling too hot in this roster, so they take Zukima off medic, who didn't want to be there. But I'm realizing they could have asked me to play medic, and they picked Bull instead.
Yeah, well, either way, we'll have to see if that pans out for them here, as now they are needing to push this time if they want to clean up their map 2-0. If not, we're going to be going to a third half on Swiftwater. As the gates have dropped in the meantime, Muma going to be rolling out here for K&D. Offense, pushing that cart ×3. Pretty standard start here.
Look at this commit from K&D. Krezzik working all the way through. Even Boar. Wow, nice from Rain to
Is that
spam
Boar
them
Huntsman?
off.
Boar's on Huntsman here.
In the game. He's just trying to create chaos, do as much damage as he possibly can. Get anything and get it fast.
Some people might think this is a bit of a troll, and while yes, it could be, the Huntsman is nothing to laugh at, and Boar is very good with it. Granted, he's going to int out at second tunnel and die to Rain. Muma going down for trouble as well because Micah hit a headshot on him, but yeah, so we'll just be stabilizing a bit here. Maybe he'll be back on sniper rifle and spawn. I'm going to go check for that as Cuties, or Candy rolling out the tunnel here. Yeah, back on sniper rifle for Boar.
Even Ubers, the banner coming out, preemptive for this push, for this hold.
Rain holding it just outside of the tunnel. He's probably going to pop it once Candy come through. In the meantime, we do see their combos rotated into upper. They're going to Uber through the shutter, getting denied a bit by Melon, but they do get through the gate. Counter in here from Ray, trying to save their players. Good reflect pipe, getting that, stuffing that recommit. And now it's going to be both teams evening out with no casualties in upper. Wax is the only death for Cuties, and because of that, the gun is going to go down to War, so that's something to work with.
Solid holds, right? Ray did the job to keep everyone alive while getting a pick right before and now right after as well. Sandblast does go down first, so KD committing through the tunnel right now. Kresnik drawing all the fire. Demento running and gunning just into main. With this gun only on level 1 from Wax is not quite enough to hold them off, but now the recommit. Melon gets a pick, Adam, Rain get picks, Michael Lilly gets a pick. Now KD's cleaned up, but that's not so bad card time.
Yeah, they got the cart halfway from the tunnel to the capture, and Zuki stays or Bull, excuse me, stays alive. Crucially, gonna get that 60% Uber. Micah finding that 1v1 with the Demento with the ambi headshot, so he got 3 kills in that push, killed Boar, and got Zuki off the cart. So very good play from Micah on this defense. As now we're gonna be looking to reset both meds on 90% Uber, and Candy look like they want to commit through tunnel again.
Boar is taking point here, trying to get some kind of an opening, while manages to get the first pick. And actually, Rain picks off Boar by peeking just barely off the shoulder.
Wild hit him 150, and then the splash rocket from side killed him.
The old one too.
Yep. Side tunnel commit goes in the favor of Cuties for now, as they get a bunch of picks. Although looks like Muma does have it until he peeks out and then dies instantly. So collapse in. Rain doing a very good job with Micah to keep control of that side tunnel.
Rain also accidentally killed Demento just by rocket jumping. You hate to see it.
Yeah, just unlucky. Candy have rotated to upper with this Uber once again. They're going to look to pop through here, but the banner is in. Gonna get released in a second here. Melon doing a very good job denying the Uber, and she's gonna get a flash as well and keep them in. So great job by Melon there to stagger on the door and not die. Get her medic time to get that flash. And with that, it's gonna be a good hold once that banner came out. That side tunnel won for Cuties again. Looking very good on this defense so far. 5 minutes left for K&D.
Another really calm use. This is everything you could want for Cuties. Right? We talked about K&D before, was just kind of doing everything right when they had to hold for 11 minutes and 14 seconds. Oh, Rain eating a massive pipe. Logan going down very low. Demento working his way into upper. Starts butter knifing right. Doesn't get the pick. Oh, he makes his way out. And now we get a wild snipe onto Bull as well. This is 50% ad for Ray, even though they're down 5 players.
Demoman fight in the corner here. Going to be won by Logan. And that commit. Oh, Scythe is alone with Rain. Upper. No one's there to protect Ray. Ray needs to win the one. Ray trades! Oh, Scythe gets that med pick in the end, so that's a win for K&D. Although Ray does have a bit of a laugh on it, as now it's only 3 up, 4 Qs. They're gonna get their spawners up. It's very chaotic. This mini does go down for the offense. Now heavy on cart. Kresnik gonna be there. Sandblast trying to hold, but Zuki gets that last second tap in before Micah stabs him, and that is the cap for K&D with 4:20 left on the clock.
Cuties actually made such a mistake letting Zukima in there. I mean, if they spammed him just a bit more, he would have been fine, but Sandblast gets it right back. He gets a pick on the Bull and taunts for his efforts, too. Wow, what a great play from Sandblast.
That's
what we want to see from that guy.
Play for Sandblast, because now Ray's going to have an Uber advantage on the defense here. Cutie's looking to build up. They actually have a mini sentry as well, finding that snipe onto Scythe. Not having a lucky game this time around, as we're going to see. Still going to be the mini sentry, so Wax committing for that one. Not going to ever try to build up level 3 here. Which, if there's 4 minutes on the clock, you can say we just need an aggressive defense.
Yeah, giving Ray this Uber advantage here is everything. What a great play from Sandblast. So now, again, Cuties get everything they need. You know, they have their gun getting ready to go. They have, oh, it's a mini sentry actually, so I guess that's always ready. The banner is popped preemptively. Now, K&D is taking their way into offense and contesting this higher ground.
Yep, but Micah finding that drop step onto Kresnik, so big pick to get that heavy down, and now Sniper peeking into it. Ooh, if he can find a shot, it'd be big, but he can't. Rain gonna find the kill onto Boar, so SBS advantage for the Cuties. They're gonna lose Rain on the back end though, so now no soldier with the banner to defend that. While gonna finally find a snipe onto Zukima into the IT, and now Bull's gonna have to back out, and Bull's alone right now. Finally meets up with Jarrett, so they're at least gonna have to wait for that Uber. 85% for K&D.
You have to be always worried when you're medic by yourself playing against Sandblast, because at any moment you could just be dead if he decides to go in. Nice snipe from Weil onto Scythe, but we have a little bit of an eye of the storm here and a moment's respite.
While finding another pick onto Boar, so Boar not having any luck with these entries onto third, as now Candy are looking to go through IT. They're Ubering through onto Zukima and Jarrett doing some damage, but they can't quite get any kills, and Zuki gets dropped in the end as well, so full 9 players up for the Cuties. Demento not going to be able to find the stab on Adam, finds cleanup onto Scratchy as well, so full 9 people alive as the banner is getting popped here. Not sure by which soldier. It looks like it's going to be Reigns, maybe? Someone's holding it. Muma's banner, actually, but doesn't get anything as he gets taken out by Sandblast. So very good hold from Cuties there. They don't lose a single player.
And those late picks too. Adam gets 2 picks on cart pushers. Wild gets a pick on someone in office. So This, if K&D had any chance back in, you think, like, you know what, our Uber didn't work, at least let's just go sack and get some picks, but Cuties keep them suffocated, and it closes all the doors.
Yep, now K&D with even Ubers, 65% for both, going to find some fights, but Demento stabs wild early. That's a big pick to try and get Sniper at. Now K&D have a numbers advantage, only 4 off for the Cuties. Ray goes down to that snipe from Bor once he has space, and now K&D are going to collapse on this one. A minute 40 left on the clock. It's very tight, but it is technically possible, especially with the full Uber out from Bull. They're going to have to get forward and contest the 4th point ramp here.
Bull already working his way very deep with Jarrett, and Muma going to clear out this ram, see what he sees. It's just the heavy so far. Kreislik even taking some high ground. Bor getting a pick onto Wild too, so your team has every avenue they need to get into this aggro hold.
Cuties look like they're done with 4th. They already have people spawned up on last. They're walking through the passive shutter, and Wax is building the gun in last spawn. So they're going to give up 4th here and bet everything on a last contest.
What do you think about that play? I think that's brilliant.
I think it's fine. I think you're not going to have Uber to contest 4th. If you bleed players on 4th, you could just get caught in a downward spiral where you lose the game instantly. Rain going to go for a bit of a stall on the cap, not going to find anything. Sandblast as well can't hit the shots onto Bor. So that flank is on a bit of a respawn here. As 45 seconds on the clock, Uber is in the favor of Candy right now. It's all on where they go here.
I do like that flank play, trying to get some kind of a chaos or just a good pick so you can really make sure your medic gets this Uber, but maybe it was a little bit late because right now Ray's only on 80%. They're working their way back in. They drop Scythe right away. Jarrett working his way in, but loading a snap by Demento.
Yep, it's damage in here from the Demo Man. Gonna get that kill onto Adam with the burnout from Zuki, and now the gun goes down as well. 5 people on card for Candy, and Cuties can't contest. There's the cap for Candy. They push the time successfully, and they're gonna take their map pick 2-0.
2-0 is super impressive out of K&D here. That first round was such a tall order, right? And such a difficult task to hold for 11 minutes and 14 seconds, but they do it. And now having to push in something around 8 minutes and 18 seconds, I believe, that they're able to do that at 25. There you go. So nice showing from them. They definitely earned it here.
Yeah, you can say for Cuties, they had a very hard decision to make on contesting 4th or not there. And while the end result didn't work out to not be results-based, you could say that if they would have kited out better, they did find a very early pick onto Scythe, so the Uber was pretty much just Logan and some cleanup from friends, and it worked out in their favor. So Candy, very impressive last-second snowball. They capped 3rd with a minute 40 left, and they ended up winning the game.
I actually think the reason that Cuties lost that was because Ray was not hard building. Even at the last second when everyone was dead, Ray had something like 96% Uber and 3 players alive. If Ray had somehow managed to build even with Scout in spawn, you would have had an Uber to contest that at the last second.
At a certain point, I actually saw Ray was on like 61% for a good chunk of time, like 5 seconds or something, where they just weren't building. And part of that was because Sandblast and Rain were actually making a sack play on 4th. And because of that, they had no one to build except potentially a Demo Man, but he wants to put traps somewhere, so yeah, they just didn't have a solid idea on what they wanted to do there with those 2 players sacking on 4th who could build.
Yeah, and as we look at the combined logs for Swiftwater here, players honestly pretty even across the board. So, like we had discussed earlier, this was a bit of a team play issue and not really a DM issue that anyone got shut down or anyone was a particular star. Instead, K&D just made a bit more right decisions more frequently.
Yeah, small discrepancies here and there. The biggest one is probably the Scout, where Scythe outdamaged Sandblast by 36 DPM and then also outfragged him by 11 while dying the same amount. So that was definitely very big for K&D. A lot of cleanup coming through in clutch moments, even though sometimes it seems like he had some bad streaks where he got double headshot by Wild 2 lives in a row and got arrowed by Ray in a trade, but found the kills where he needed to. So definitely impressive performance out of him. Probably MVP for K&D there. But again, it was a big team thing where like it was just a very good performance in general from them on a map where they're comfortable on.
Right, and as we discussed earlier with the mental game of these teams, for K&D to come back against, no pun intended, but to face Oblivion and be on their tournament life here down a map and to come back in both of those difficult rounds, that's exactly what we needed to see out of K&D. We didn't see it last week against Memento Mori, but we're seeing it here now that they figured out these issues and are able to get their heads back in the game to win rounds.
Yeah, last week after they lost the first Koth map, they went into Upward and they looked defeated from the start, but here Swiftwater goes convincingly in their favor. Even if there were a couple of rough spots, they just proved that they were much better on that map. And now we go into a stopwatch 3rd map. Vigil will be our tiebreaker here.
We saw that because next door won our only payload.
We got a bit of a robot rogue coming in.
Oh.
I'd love to expand upon your point if I knew what he said. Either way, I'll take over for a second. Logs on your screen now. Again, they don't really matter going into Vigil here. We are stopwatch again. Our tiebreaker here, loser goes home empty-handed in these playoffs. Fourth place, no prize money, no medal. So everything is on the line here if you want to continue your run and potentially take that first place spot. Playoffs are wide open at this point. Any of the 4 teams we have could end up making it there. That said, we do have an update for you on the upper bracket finals. They are finished. has 2-0'd Refrigerator on Steel, a total of 4-0 on the 2 stopwatch maps, Upward and Steel, and will be in your grand finals, top 2 for the season. Very good performance out of them, and they're definitely very proud so far.
All right, we are back. I am a man of flesh and no longer robotic parts, and yeah, I'm excited to see now that we have our grand finalists decided. Whoever wins this match will face Refrigerator in the next elimination match, which would be next week, of course, in the lower bracket finals. So it all comes down to this. Let's not forget, this is the decider map where whoever loses this is out of playoffs. No money, no placement badge. You just get to be sad and have a great time playing this video game together that we're all enjoying.
Exactly. All right. So looks like we're going to be starting with Candy on the defense here of Vigil. This map was the last pick. After pick ban, it was Cuties who chose this over Upward, which is interesting as both teams lost Upward last week. Both of them looked unimpressive on the map. And even though Cuties beat Candy in the regular season 2-1 on Upward, or 2-0 on Upward, wasn't it? Cuties destroyed them on Upward. Yeah. Even with that, Cuties opted for Vigil. We've not played Vigil since week 1. So it's going to be interesting to see this map out here again and what both of them can do. There might be a bit of rust, there might be a bit of new strategies because it's been a long time, so anything could happen here.
Yeah, you really have to think, Candy did play pretty well on Swiftwater, but it was so close, Zag. Like, you'd think if 1 or 2 pushes went better or 1 or 2 holds went better, Cuties could have won either of those rounds. So maybe if they're feeling a bit more confident on this map, Candy feeling a bit less confident, maybe that's all you need.
Yeah, there's a big difference here. There's also 2 sides of the mental game here at this point, right? Because if you're Candy, you just won Swiftwater, your own map pick, stopwatch 2-0. You're going into a stopwatch on a map where you didn't lose to Cuties on the regular season, and you feel like you probably have a good chance of winning this one as well. But if you are Cuties, you could be thinking, okay, we did great on Asheville. Sure, we lost on Swiftwater, but we looked competitive at points, and it wasn't our map pick. We chose Vigil. This is what we decided at the end, and we are confident that we can take this one. So based on how the mental states are going for both teams right now, I think it's hopeful for both sides, and it's going to be interesting to see how this goes.
Yeah, that's a good point, really, because we saw Cuties play their best when, they just loaded in the server. No one's arguing yet or discussing adaptations or anything, just playing their own game and getting rounds on the board. But now that they have to think, okay, last payload we did this, so this payload we need to do that, and you could change this and try that different thing. So we don't want to see them crumble or get at each other's throats or try and adapt too much and be unfamiliar with what they're trying to do. So I hope that we see Cuties just play calm and have good holds, nice Ubers, nice rotations of when to back out, even opting to hold last. So if they're able to stay calm in this, like you said, it's anyone's game. But I don't know. Now I'm feeling like it's Candy taking this one 2-1. But what about you?
Yeah, we have these predictions on screen for you guys, and they are dead even. They're neck and neck, 1.33, 1.27. It's been fluctuating back and forth. This one's super hard to call. I think no matter what, we 2-1. I think Vigil is a snowbally enough map where like one big play can win the game. Speaking of big plays at winning the game, I remember in week 1 when we casted Weil, he walked forward onto hill and dropped the enemy medic on that dispenser. That was Exile, I believe, the medic for So we've seen it before. One big play from these players could swing the entire map. So I think that we're going to see both teams having strong points and both teams also having very low lows. So, it's so hard to call. I'm going to say 2-1 Cuties. I think that we've seen Weil outperform Boar this entire series, and even when he kind of stabilized himself on Swiftwater, there was still Weil doing very well. And we've seen these big plays completely change Vigil. Micah and Weil have proven that they've been more on point tonight, and I think that they're going to be a big difference maker going forward.
Yeah, actually, you know what? I just ran the numbers. I predicted Kids Next Door on the first one, and Casters cursed it, so Cuties won. Then I Casters cursed Cuties in the next one, where Candy won. So since I predicted Candy here, that means Cuties are going to be winning our first round of lower bracket. It seems. You
This is
stop the
like
count. Don't
opposite.
even need to play it out. It's written in stone, as the prophecy is foretold.
It's like opposite fantasy football or fantasy sports, where we're trying to get the lowest points possible. We're trying to get the lowest predictions possible.
Fantasy golf.
I've never seen that one, but it sounds fun.
You got to get low scores, right?
True. And with that, we have 17 players in the server just waiting on Scratchy to join up on K&D's side. Things are very tense here in this final map of the lower bracket semis. If you've just joined us here, we are 1-1 in this match. Cuties taking Asheville 3-1, K&D taking Swiftwater 2-0. We're here on Vigil to decide it all.
We'll get a little poll running in the chat asking if there's going to be a sub 5-minute capture. This is one of our faster, I'd say probably the fastest actually,
It's definitely
payload
the
map.
fastest.
Faster than Steel, if Steel you count.
I'd say it's hard because Steel has the potential to be extremely fast, but I'd say on average, Vigil's faster.
Mm. Especially some of these holds, some teams just get hard stuck. Like we saw Cuties spend something like 6 minutes trying to push third and just couldn't make it work. If we remember from the grand finals of last season of Man Crush Monday, trying to push up this hill for something like 9 minutes on Kids Next Door, not able to do it. Sometimes we see on Last Point, teams are pushing there for 4 minutes, 5 minutes, 6 minutes, not able to make these openings. So while this can be a very fast map, and luckily the card time is quite short, some of these holds can just somehow give you 5 minutes on the clock.
Yep, it's definitely a very chaotic payload map. Newest map in rotation, and very big fan of this map. If we have people tuning in who have not seen it before, expect very fast times, snowbally points, and the holds to be very aggressive. If teams end up snowballing on this map, you could see times as low as 4.5, 5 minutes. So definitely a very chaotic and aggressive payload map to watch.
And that's why it's such a double-edged sword for Cuties, right? Where Sandblast is that person we look to on King of the Hill, where if there was an opening, he was in. If the team needed to move forward, he's the first one in line. And even when there wasn't an opening, he was creating them. But when he's stuck here on cart in offense, needing to get that ×3 and push the cart as fast as you can, they're a little bit hard-pressed sometimes, it seems.
Yeah, things can get really bad if you're not prepared for the push.
This can be a nice demo damage map, though, so Logan might be able to pick up that slack and just, suddenly put in 300 damage to push Hill, or holding third on defense. He'll be able to just, eat people alive on the cart and put him through the meat grinder.
Yep. A bit of an update on the 17 players in server. Looks like one player has a bit of a delay going on right now for about 5 to 10 minutes from what we know of, so it will be a bit longer before we get into this final map. I love that because I get to talk about nothing for a bit longer.
It's you have to think, right, where Michael Lele was amazing on that first round of Swiftwater and really should have won it for his team. But you know what it might have done at this point is kind of conditioned K&D now, where they're very vigilant and very aware of the spy. So he might have peaked almost a little bit early, where again his team, he was hoping, would have won that map anyway and just closed it in 2. But if K&D is ready for the spy and keeping Bull alive, they might be even better poised to have nice pushes and holds.
Maybe. It's always weird with Spy, because Spy, while it's in general, it's a very inconsistent class. You can make certain things work out often just by, playing a certain way. Where, yeah, they could have been a bit more conditioned of Micah, but you also have to worry about how Bull and Zuki are going to play on this map in terms of spy checking, because keep in mind, they haven't played this map since week 1, and at that point, Bull wasn't even playing on this team, so who knows? Bull might not be aware of some walk-ups, some sightlines even for sniper play, and disaster could strike. We are looking at Micah and Weil as key pieces for Cuties going into this map, so could be very, very hard for Bull. Before the predictions just disappeared off the screen, we got to an even 1.33 versus 1.34, so clearly chat very split.
It's so tough to say. I mean, even we can't figure it out here, and these teams must be biting their nails here, hoping to give it their all
This is the
because
most tense 5 to 10 minutes of the entire season for them. Like,
like
it must feel like garbage because you just got done with the second map. Both teams are like, "Okay, guys, we got this," and then we're just like, "Wait for 10 minutes." By the way, like you're sitting there just shaking in your chair, like tapping your foot up and down, waiting.
the mental game is so underrated. I actually think this is really good for Cuties, especially because it looks like it's a K&D player that's got the delay here.
No, we
So
we
if
know who
you're
has the delay. It's Sandblast.
oh, it is. Never mind. Well, I was gonna say it's nice for them at least to be able to just chill out and relax, and even just kind of make small talk, and change the mood a little bit because when their minds are free and clear, they were playing quite well on Asheville. So we just want to keep it calm. Forget about Swiftwater. We don't need her anymore. She's gone. There's no hope. Delete her number, block her on Facebook, hit the gym. Just focus on yourself now, and yourself has a future with Vigil if you're Cuties.
That's a metaphor I would not make myself. But there you go. Dolphin is playing a Find the Ducks with our viewers, so shout out to him. Looks like we have a heavy in the crate in blue spawn. The heavy duck. Oh, there's a medic duck on the ramp going out of the spawn, it looks like. Where's that?
I think I might have been discussing with Theater Techie, the author of this map, the designer, the map maker, the mastermind behind it all, where he was discussing he had like a little bit of a bounty out for whoever could crack the code on the logic of which ducks are where or something like that. But I'm not sure if he was joking, but what a fun addition to this map.
I'm sure the person who's looked at the ducks the most at this point is probably Dolphin, so you could probably claim that bounty if you do find any patterns to go on that one.
I feel like as medic on the first point, you just have to stay in spawn and wait for the rest of your team to make enough space and shove them off of first. So you really don't leave until they cap. So I spent a lot of time with it's usually the spy duck keeps me company in the resupply cabinet on the left side of the blue spawn. But I feel like it's become my like good luck charm where if the duck is there to spend time with me, then we're gonna win this round. But if I'm all alone with my thoughts, then it never turns out good.
Just have a mental image in my head of Rogue in pregame, and then the initial sacks, he's just standing in the crate talking to the duck. Your spy walks by you. What are you doing?
The duck is the only one who understands me, Zag. It's like that thought too sometimes, right? Listen, you can do a lot of soul searching waiting in spawn. There's a word for that phenomenon where when you're driving, there's just a thought in your head like, hey, what if I just veer into the wall and die?
Call of the Void.
Yes, that's it. So sometimes, medics are just sitting there first like, oh god, what if I just use here? It could just happen.
It's so
it
funny
just
you said
becomes
that because
stressful.
last week there was a point where I think it was Ray. Was it Ray? No, it was
It was Blake.
yeah, Blake, who accidentally just uses his Uber in upward spawn because his cat jumps on his keyboard.
Yeah, the cat force is yeah, very unfortunate. But listen, so I guess you're telling me that I'm completely valid in my stresses and will continue to panic.
Of course, Blake winning that round despite not having an Uber on first was a sight to watch, so maybe it's not such a bad thing after all.
I'm excited to see which way it looks like Cuties is going to be on offense first, where there's a lot of it feels like teams haven't really agreed on which way is the best to push the second hill. Where, if you look at a map like Upward or even Swiftwater, we've played it so long that people kind of know you have plans A, B, and C. But when you're on offense pushing on the hill onto second, some teams will opt to go onto the hill, some opt to go into the tunnel through the side, and then some even in desperate plays will go out the main part of the tunnel. So if you're Cuties, there's a lot of different ways to take it. Where do you send your flank even? So if they're able to get it on their first try, that's a really good sign going into this map. But if it doesn't work for the first one, or God forbid the second and the third push, they're going to have to get pretty creative on how they want to take it. So we'll see.
Yeah, definitely a lot of variety we've seen teams come out doing. We've seen hill pressure early, or side tunnel pressure early, where you go and you actually trade out a side tunnel before re-pushing over hill with your damage and spam. So definitely a lot of interesting things that teams can do here. That said, we are getting ready to start. We have 2 minutes until we begin, so finally we'll be underway on this third map. Shout out to Logan, who built the sentry gun on the hill in pregame. He's on a 26 kill streak with 126 points, so farming him. That's his mental image training for farming the opposing team.
Even a godlike 30 kill streak with a golden text over the screen. Yeah, this winning in pregame is just as good, if not better, than winning in the matches. So right now, Cuties have quite the advantage coming into the last round of this decider map.
I wonder, Dolphin, if you've ever thought of having like a sentry gun cam where you have a camera that's set to an opposing sentry gun when it's getting pushed on, so you can see the demo man running, putting stickies on it. It'd also be kind of cool, like for a leftover mini. Yeah, like imagine on a Koth round where like they're fighting for double overtime. There's a mini sentry left that no one's gonna shoot at. You go on the mini cam and watch it just shred the opponents. Would be fun to think about.
You could like free cam into the sentry gun and just like watch it like doot doot doot. Sometimes I like as medic to stand in a sentry gun and feel like I'm a real class. Like if someone walks at me, then I get to shoot them back, even though it's technically not me.
I've had a lot of thoughts of the inner mechanisms of Rogue's medic mind right now. What do you think about when playing the game for all you up-and-comers? So you talk to ducks and you pretend to be sentry guns, and then you're invite.
I'm starting to realize why Candy cut me.
Who's the Psycho Forensic who's making machine gun sounds in our gun and talking to ducks? I don't want to be near this guy anymore. He's scaring me.
It's that time of the night, right? We're 2 hours into this match, and it's showing no signs of stopping. So we're getting a little stir crazy here, cooped up in the server.
Oh my God, we readied up. Oh, we're here. It's going. 11:41 starting time of our third Vigil map. We're gonna break midnight easily. We're going to be some midnight TF2 gamers, but we are getting set for this Vigil last map in the lower bracket semifinals. KND and Cuties fighting for a chance to keep going in playoffs. Loser takes that 4th place. No medal, no money. Winner gets a chance against Refrigerator next week for top 2. KND are on defense here. Cuties on offense.
It all comes down to, well, this is the first round, I guess, so you are lucky, especially by playing best of 3 here on the payload maps, right? Like, if you do lose that first round, you have such a nice way back in and you can work on your mistakes and stuff. Didn't quite work out for Cuties in the first time, but still, it really felt like they won both of those halves, even though it was a 2-0 in favor of KND. So they just keep doing what they're doing. Even if you lose this first one, you still feel so good for Cuties.
Yeah, Candy could also be striving off their momentum here, trying to keep that going. I'm gonna have to see which team comes out with the edge initially here. Vigil, a very snowbally map. Whoever hits that first strike is gonna have a big advantage. As it looks like Candy are holding a bit more forward than what teams are used to. We see Boar on the opposing hill trying to find a cheeky angle, whereas Heavy Demo holding close to the wall. Muma inside the little fort holding in the left room with crit stickies, so it's a bit more aggressive than what we're used to.
This is a KND special with Krezzik playing this head glitch, doing 1,000 damage to everyone on Cuties, holding them back, where for the heavy, your bullets come out of your eyes. So if you're able to peek over a little ledge, you can shoot at them, but they basically can't shoot back at you. So Krezzik is able to stuff them back out and keep his medic safe in this forward position.
Yep, they got an early pick onto Wild and Melon with a trade onto Scythe, so it's a bit of an advantage, especially here now with Wax and Micah going down. Gun does die for Scratchy though, so he's gonna have to back up and rebuild that. Kresnik's still on this hill forward. They need to deal with him as spam from Jarrett's gonna take out Logan. But there's Wild finding that pick on the Dome and staying out in the open, punching him for that one. Sandblast as well takes down Muma in the side, and Rain catches Demento out. So with that, Kane, you're looking to back up here, but Kresnik gets caught on the retreat, and Rain's gonna kill him. So that's a pretty late death and a pretty bad one for KND now.
And Ray is already in position. Melon and Adam working their way up the hill. Boar goes down too. There's 4 players alive. The gun is only level 1.
Drop to Rain. That was such a late backup from KND, and Cuties capitalized on it perfectly. They all jumped forward, got the stragglers, and then collapsed on the main force. It is disaster for KND as Sandblast mocks Bull in chat for dropping that Uber, and now they're getting spawn camped.
I feel like we've needed a little villain like Sandblast to keep everyone on their toes with all the smack talk and showing them who's boss. Now look at this. Melon and Rain turned it up on the back lines, getting Muma and Demento too. Bull is here with only 30%.
There's stickies on Shudder and there's a sniper. So this second is already capped. Candy have already rotated out to third. They're going to be trying to build this as Bull's 40% to raise 100. But second is absolutely free for Cuties with that spawn camp. And they are looking good here. Minute 41 through. Scythe gets caught in the side by Rain and the opposing sniper. Now Wild's going to get a free flank trying to find an angle. This is not looking good for Candy at all. They still don't have Uber.
There is a trap here on we call it lava on Main Crush Monday because the floor is lava, and pushing main on the floor is not so good for offense here. And there is a trap above it. Demento waiting for Ray to turn the corner. Goes a little bit too early, and Ray is staying alive here, but it looks like Bull is going to get Uber in time.
Yep, Candy have a really nice forward hold here, but in the meantime, Uber is into the front. Sandblast gets dropped by the gun, so he doesn't get a flash at all. Logan gets trapped as well by some explosives, but Rain jumps in, tries to do some damage, gets a kill onto Zuki and Scratchy at least. So the gun does that, but Muma on the flank takes care of Ray on the backline, and that is a very important stabilization for KND. They get their Uber and they crush Cuties on that push.
And the sentry gun is just barely alive on something like 30 health, where getting the pick onto Scratchy, the engineer, was very, very good from Rain, but they weren't able to seal the deal.
Weil and Logan die early, so they're not going to be able to push this. They're going to have to wait for some respawns, as Cuties have kind of regrouped around main. Lava, as I do believe you said it, is there. And pay attention to Candy's defense here.
They're playing very aggro, actually, working their way onto the cart and spamming them in this main area. This is why the floor is lava. You're just chilling on the low ground. Like, Sandblast dies, Adam's at half health. Right now, Candy is in full control of this flank, where Cuties have no hope of taking it, and Candy has a full Uber. So what are you doing on this floor here? What are you accomplishing?
Yep, watch out for, on the side, Kresnik, Scythe, and sometimes like to have their soldier there as well. They play this top right area, and it's just so hard for the opponents to push in through main, because if they ever do walk past a certain point, then this high ground force of Kresnik, Scythe, and probably it's going to be Muma as well, will just destroy you on the back out.
Now Cuties make a hard rotate into this high ground.
Yeah, they know they have to get this place, and they do it very easily. Wall takes down Vor. Kresnik is going to be stuck here getting arrows. He's alone right now as well, so it's going to be about how fast they can take care of this heavy. Ooh, great surf by Kresnik. He actually gets out of dodge. That said, Jarrett and Muma are going to go down to the flank combo. Scythe as well dropping to Sandblast, so 3-man add for Cuties here.
They are taking the time with this Uber, but it's working. They're getting so much damage, so many picks. They use now. They're still only 4 up. The gun does get pulled. Kresnik goes down for it. Zukima's down. They're going to get this capture, but Bull makes it out with 100% Uber.
That was a disaster for KND. They bled so many players in a row, and they just could not stop the cart from getting up the hill, and the last players got caught. Bull saves Zuber, sure, but if you're giving up the point without using it, then did you really contest at all?
Logan and the rest of the Cuties combo working their way through main. Rain even trying to do damage. Logan trying to do damage. The gun is still just barely alive. Muma jumps into main to get Logan too. They're not able to clean up the gun, but that would have been a great early pick going into last.
Yep, Ray on 50%, so Cuties just keen to build this while they push the cart in. It's going to get ×2, ×3 very shortly, as now the Cuties combo flanking out onto the cliff side.
You're at 60% for Cuties, and now you have to be so scared of Demento if you're Ray, because you need this Uber. Your whole team's waiting for this Uber. It's so many seconds on the clock to get this Uber, so it has to be everything you wanted it to be and accomplish everything you hoped it will. Logan right now, spamming out the side too, is going to help his team a lot.
Demento calling out the movements of the Cuties combo right now, cloak and daggered from this corner, as Ray's going to have the Uber make that call. Looks like Cuties are trying to push in through the side here to get some damage. They get Muma, but they lose Wax and Adam in the meantime. Demento as well cleaning up Wild, so no sniper to peek in through the window. And with those 3 players down, Cuties are going to back up here off the forward ground.
Yeah, they decide to wait, regroup, get those spawns back in, trying to pressure through main a little bit, see what they can see.
Yep, both teams do have Uber, so Cuties are bleeding time for every second they're not trading. Now they have all their players back. They're going to try and drop down. Adam's going to go on the cart with his Fist of Steel, calls out the gun, and gets set on fire for his trouble. Kresnik is on him right now. He's going to take him out easily once he pieces corner. Doesn't even get any damage, so Adam dropping early. And now they're going to Uber in through main here. Gun under fire, gets wrangled in time by Scratchy. Zuki as well, air blasting Sticky's doing great work, and they have not gotten anything with this Cuties.
The Uber is so much better from KND. Even cleaning up the flank with it, Bull has so much free time after that. Weil gets sniped too. There's so many down for Cuties. What was that, Zach? Like, they took the Uber, they waited for Adam to go in by himself and die, and then they took the Uber through main with just medic and demo?
Yeah, they just didn't have a good vision on what was actually going to happen. That said, we're going to go forward here because Kresnik died at the end. Cuties are trying to regroup and gather up on the left side. Logan trying to spam with Rain on this high ground area. You kind of want to get control of this before you push because it gives you so many more angles. And now their medics, they're over as well, so they have rotated properly to the side. While opening pick on Tabor is big, now they're going to stack cart.
Ray able to play out in the open. The rest of Cuties now swarming the main. This is all free ground. Demento working his way through and he gets Ray, but the cart just goes down thanks to Adam's cart time.
Yeah, once you cross your combo over to the right side, there's so many more options for you to do. We saw a lot of people take top right for Cuties, and all the spam was too much for Candy to handle, and they just got crushed on that last hold. So that 6:30 push time for Cuties, it's a I'd say average, maybe a bit above average, but it's definitely just an even side time for both teams so far.
Yeah, that's fine. This is where we need to see, right? Like, this was a totally average push, average hold, right? So yeah, no, Cuties push. So it's a totally average push. So if they have an average hold, then it's anyone's game. But that's why we're looking to players like Sandblast to get in behind and drop Bowl, or Michael Lele to get in behind and do some big damage. Wild to keep Bowl off the scoreboard and let his team play in the positions they want to play. And that's what's going to win this round for Cuties.
And keep in mind, the start of that round was disastrous for K&D. They bled players on first, got caught on their back out, and got collapsed on, and they didn't even get a chance to hold second with that Bull dropping Uber so early. So whether or not you want to call that a win for K&D for kind of pulling out at an average, maybe slightly slower than average time off of that awful start, they might be feeling a bit better, but at the same time, now they have a pretty tall task ahead of them.
Yeah, but you know what, too? Like, Cuties we saw had some kind of weirder pushes. They couldn't get third on Swiftwater. Now, on last, again, they had a very confusing push to me, which took like 2 minutes to get basically nothing. But now, their job's cut out for them. Just don't die and hold points. That's it.
Muma's in behind here for K&D on Cuties. He's probably going to get seen out here as he's jumping around the spawn, does get taken down. Jarrett sacking over the top, going to get taken down as well. So initial sack not going too badly, but it's already a better start for Cuties than K&D had. Now they're going to have to stabilize on this second defense.
And it looks, since Cuties don't do that forward hold, if you remember, Kids Next Door got something like maybe more than a minute, I think, with how long it took for Cuties to capture first. And now it's been maybe something like 40 seconds, so that's already a big difference, even though it didn't work out for them.
Woo, pause. I don't like playing the game. I like sitting here, pausing. There's a funny sticky trap by Logan on the walk up on hill that's very visible for everyone from K&D, so we see Scythe staring straight at it, probably going to go clear that. As now we wait for the offense to make their move.
And this is that question now. We saw before that Cuties had so many picks on first that they flooded onto the hill with their Uber and taking the high ground going into second here. And then they were able to just seal the deal by keeping the rest of K&D on the respawn timers. So now K&D has to ask, do they want to go maybe side tunnel to meet Rain? Do they want to go up onto hill where Logan is full buff, Weil is watching it, locking it down? It's tough to say which way is the best way to go, so they're going to have to try their luck on whichever they pick.
Yeah, and Demento actually died at the end of their first push to a bleed, and because of that, he's not going to be in to sap the gun if K&D want to go fast. So if they do decide to take their side tunnel push, which it looks like their combo is kind of gearing up to head that way instead of hill, they have to be aware that there's no sap available on the gun, so it's going to have to get sticky a lot, and then there could be a pyro in their face if it gets called, so Melon going to look for that rotation.
This is great again from Cuties. Like we compared to, remember, it really felt like Cuties won that last map, even though they lost 0-2. Right now, compare their hold to K&D's hold, right? K&D had I think they dropped their med or something, or they dropped 2 players, then 3, and then 4, and Cuties was all over them. But now look at this. Cuties has all of their players, have all of their buffs. They have their sniper watching a main sight line, the soldiers holding the flank, their gun is level 3. They have everything they could want as we head back in.
Yep, unpaused here as now K&D, the combo's looking to go into side tunnel like we expected. Soldier leading the way, Muma, Zukima as well getting some... Boar is scoping it, gets forced off by that soldier. Now what are they going to do? Already rotating hill, it looks like.
And the combo clearing out tunnel and making sure there's no shenanigans as they got the cart to the exit of the tunnel. But right now, that actually drew Cuties away a little bit. Yeah, that's a big difference maker as K&D works their way uphill.
Yep. Telly goes down, so no one to jump up as Uber isn't over the hill. K&D popping first, response in from Cutie's side. Is up, fighting Rain in the side tunnel, but the front end is going about evenly. Kresnik gets stabbed, Adam traded, so neither team with a heavy right now. Banner in, looks like for Rain, popping that one off. It's going to be very big in this post. Great to have that one from Rain all the time, and now K&D can't push up this hill as the defense resistance is too strong. Muma going to get taken down by Rain on that side tunnel, and that's a very strong hold while taking down Boar at the end.
Well, Rain just won that for Cuties, hands down. Cuties gave K&D the high ground, where actually K&D was poised to just destroy them on the from above. But with that banner, Cuties was able to stay alive and just take casual peeks into side tunnel, work their way slowly back up the hill, take a peek on the cart, and just clean up the cart pushers. So now they're back in this hold.
Wiley needs a headshot from Boar, needs to go back to his medic to heal that one off, so Boar has a bit of free space here, as now Candy trying to wait for their Uber, 85% to raise 75. Small ad, probably not much to work off of, although it is increasing as Bull's going to have soon. We're going to have to see what Candy's offense wants to do here, as there's the unpause live, so waiting for this one. Ray, 90%. Looks like Candy are waiting for all their ducks to be in order before they go, so Ray will have.
This is my favorite kind of sneaky diss ad where technically they can't know that you were just not building well, so Candy doesn't push off of it, but
Ooh.
Jared does get wild.
Yeah, big opening pick. Logan pipes, Boar backs, and no sniper in this fight as Ubers are out. Candy running forward side does kill Adam immediately. It's a good pick, but he gets cleaned up for his trouble. Collapsed on. No one to help him in the backside. Logan gets popped up, but drops down to low ground to stay alive for now. Gonna help kill Scratchy. Scratchy escapes with his life. And now Candy are pushing over the hill. They have the positioning and they have the frags. And Cuties combo has backed out toward the choke. It's gonna be about defending card. As Rain has another banner and he's bombing forward with it. Logan following up, and they're doing a bunch of damage in this choke point. Kresnik gets taken down, and Rain with it on a 6 kill streak. Logan on a 4, and these banners are clutch for Cuties. They are so out of there without it.
What a collapse! Everyone's falling out of control. Look, 6 kill streak, 5 kill streak, 6, 4, 7. They're all over the board with it.
Yep, explosive classes from Cuties doing amazing work, especially Rain with those banners. Your combo out and choke when the enemy has high ground on you, that's a back out every time on Vigil. But that banner combined with the bomb in from the explosive classes was clutch. And now Cuties get to hold this again with Nuberad.
You have not even 3 minutes to get 3 points if you're K&D. If the Uber is coming up for Bolt, but it's now or never on this one.
Ooh, Logan dies early to Boar on a snipe, but while trading back, so both teams trading sniper picks. A solo Uber onto Melon here, trying to get some damage in. Not going to find too much, does end up walking at some players, but no frags for that Pyro. And now Cuties should be getting out. They're only 4 up. Ray's in behind. Demento should be decloaking to try and finish her off. Muma going to bomb forward. This should be clean for Candy, taking out the enemy medic. Demento gets hammered and wrenched. So, Ray, I believe, got a saw. No, didn't get a saw, but Ray escapes because of that. So, at least Cuties now keep their meta alive. That's actually very big.
With how long it takes to push this cart, it'll take probably 45 seconds, I think, if you had ×3 the full way. So, if Cuties essentially have time to get one really solid Uber off, they can hold this round.
Yep, they're going to have to build it up first, though. Now Sandblast gets killed early by Muma, so flank advantage for Candy. They already have Boar out here on the side here. Demento gets killed for his troubles, but Sniper out on this flank is really big. Rain knows he's there, but gonna go clean up lower first. One rocket trade with Muma. And meanwhile, Logan dies to Kresnik on the peak. They weren't ready for that aggressive play from K&D. And with Boar on this side, there's nothing Cuties can do. They're going to pick up their gun, they're going to pick up their medic, and they're going to go back into spawn. Just like how K&D gave up this point for free, Cuties are going to handshake as well. A minute 30 left on the clock. Both teams are going to have full Uber for this last push.
Wow, what a great dry push. I mean, you have to wonder. Oh, actually, K&D already working their way through main. The gun's getting harassed here. Demento in position to go for a sap. Gets the sap off. Oh, not quite.
Oh, they're going to Uber immediately. It's all about getting kills here for K&D, but they haven't found anyone yet. Muma Kresnik going to drop as well as Demento from that missed stab, and now they don't get anything from that Uber. Logan needs to be careful not to get caught here, but he's fine. He has Rain to back him up. Rain going to get blasted back by a meat shot as Micah stabs Boar in the meantime, so definitely a good hold from Cuties there to keep the stabilization going, and a minute left on the clock. There's one Uber left in this game.
K&D has such a great avenue for a good dry push here. If you peek and, you trade 3 of your players for 5 of theirs, something like that, you're sitting pretty to win this round.
Yep, Candy opting not to go cliffside. They have a bunch of players in main and Heavy Soldier going through Red Room. They're trying to get spam onto the gun, and they get it as it's building. It finally gets built up off the Wrangler and doing some damage. It gets taken down, but a lot of damage from both sides. Candy are taking more losses right now as the high ground, and another banner out from Rain. This clap should come in easy for the Cuties. They're trying to get Tsukima off the cart. It needs to be someone other than Rain. Micah finding that backstab, and Bull gets killed as well. That's so unfortunate for K&D. They were relying on that one Uber. They had it left, and that dry push was the death of them. Now Ray, 100% Uber, 10 seconds. Cuties have got this.
So unfortunate for Bull to go down. Yeah, now just a last-minute desperation for the cart, which even has a small hill to go up. It's a nice
Ray
little
dropped,
addition on this last.
but
Yeah, it's a courtesy drop.
yeah,
Just a nod to the greats. Thanks for the inspiration over all the years. We're still going to win the round, though.
Micah ends that game on a 7 kill streak, Rain on a 6 kill streak. It was demolition from the key classes of Cuties. Rain with those banners is so important. A team completely changes how you play based on whether or not your soldier can do that, and Rain is the best soldier in the game at that.
Yeah, those like we couldn't have made it any more clear, right? On second, Rain held 3 of those holds for their team, and now on last, another again. Without that banner, you lose the round. With it, you win it. So 4 times in a row, something like that, or 3 times using that banner to perfection. Keep it up.
Definitely. If you're Cuties, that is a very good first half. You take that one convincingly. You can say convincingly, it was very close. But in terms of what you can fix, both teams are going to go into the next round thinking we should be able to win this.
So the problem here, Zag, is we've now cursed it apparently, and Rain is doomed to have really bad banners. But the thing is, I also jinxed K&D winning this map too. So if neither K&D or Cuties can win this, I think that means we're going to have something like an indefinite pause, perhaps. You know, I've angered the gods by making too many predictions, and we'll just be here for until the end of time.
Yeah, because that's going to be really fun for us here, as we do tick into midnight here on the East Coast. Welcome to the next day, all you guys. Logs up on your screen. Rain, 22 kills, completely demolishing the server, 900 DPM. Outfragging everyone else by 7. Sandblast 15. No one else even close remotely in the ballpark. Rain doubled everyone's frags on K&D at minimum. Definite MVP performance right there from the Soldier of Cuties.
Everyone else staying pretty honest. I mean, Sandblast putting up a good bit of numbers. You know, Spies not being particularly impactful. Snipers as well, you know, going 3 for 3 in the SVS, 2 kills of a difference between them. So, yeah, everyone's keeping it pretty even, but these clutch plays from Rain absolutely winning it for Cuties.
Yeah, like you mentioned, everyone else kind of stacking up, but there's not like that many big discrepancies other than the flank. Medic deaths both were 3 to 3, so even if Bull had a really bad drop in the end, both teams. Well, okay, one of Ray's deaths was worthless because it was at the end of the game when it didn't matter.
Oh,
so I
that's
guess
right,
you
of
consider
course.
that. But yeah,
That's-
going into the next half, there's very big things both teams need to look at. K&D, I'm wondering what they're going to do on first, because if that happens again, then like you're so tilted.
And especially now, it's a little bit of like a poison chalice, or I don't know exactly what the phrase I'm looking for is, but for K&D, you're like, man, we really almost had that. We like just barely lost to the banner in 3 of these second pushes, and we just barely dropped our medic at the last second in the round. So you're like, we were so close, we can just get it over the edge. But if you get so desperate or feel like we deserved to win that, you know, sometimes that can just completely blow up in your face and turn it in favor of the opponents.
We will be having Cuties on defense here first, which is going to be interesting because the last round was not normal. The last round was anything but normal because K&D on their offense, or on the defense rather, immediately dropped their entire team on second. Cuties on their defense, they got a lot of value out of the banner. I'd say that many like reliable banners. While it's definitely possible, you can't like plan on having a banner for every repush. Your soldier could get picked inside tunnel, soldier could get backstabbed, soldier could not even be fed damage, but it was definitely a chaotic round, and anything could happen going into this one. Candy, they're probably going to be happy with a clean slate, honestly.
What I'm looking for Cuties on that second hold is the banners were amazing, but without a banner, you have to have kind of a call together as a team of what you're going to do. Like, okay, we all go back to hill for the high ground. We all fight cart. So if we see that kind of a coordination out of them, I think they can hold it even without the banner. But without the banner, who knows what could happen.
Yep. New round starting out here. Gates have dropped. Everything looking the same as it did on Cutie's last defense, holding a bit more passive. Demento dying on the respawn rollout, can't get to the ammo pack in time. Hopefully he gets up and alive for Candy's second push. He can get in behind. Muma, speaking of, gonna get in behind early. Gonna get seen out by the gun. Might get chased down here by Sandblast. He does get chased down, so he's gonna be on a respawn timer after that one.
Yeah, so comparatively super calm first hold from Cuties, but yeah, there's really so much to say. Like, even though K&D did get rocked a little bit by bleeding so many for second last time, they got so much time off. So we're going to see now, actually, there's a little bit of a recommit from Sandblast getting a 2K, taking down Boar too.
That's nice. Taking the enemy sniper gives you a bunch of room to work with. Definitely good, but he's going to have a bit of a longer respawn. Demento in the backline here. He is cloaked. He sees everything going on here to call out for his team. And Candy look like they want to go. He'll immediately going to pop Uber here onto Jarrett. Gets that one flash just in time, doing a lot of damage. Takes down Logan, 2 pipe to get that drop as well on Ray. easy play for Jarrett. It was completely unexpected. I guess they didn't have comms on it, and Cuties crumble on second.
Jarrett walks all the way forward and yeah, like just Ignis is like, hi Logan, and Logan's like, hey, and then just walks past him and gets 2 stickies instantly onto Ray and drops her without even, she had no clue that he was there. Logan even was like touching cheeks with him over on their side of the hill.
Yeah, Boar catches Wax on the back out, Sentry Gun going down, and that's the easy second cap for K&D. So I guess the real curse of Vigil is every half someone's not going to hold second.
And this is a 30% advantage for Bull. We want to see a bit of an adjustment, right, where now you have to clear out the flank immediately. And additionally, the engineer is down, so this gun, when you're getting in with this Uber, is going to be maybe level 2. So it looks like Cuties even have Sandblast and Rain here on the flank, but by keeping Adam with the combo here, K&D could have a really easy avenue to clear it out.
And keep in mind, last time third was the easiest point in the game for K&D. Rain gonna get stabbed, and that's why you're not gonna have the banner. So that flank is completely wide open for K&D to take. Or looking at taking SVS against Wild here. Both snipers looking at it. Could be very volatile. But enemy flank is in behind. Uber in through the front as well. Melon gonna deny that one in the air blast. But Sab is gonna go on the gun just a second. Demento gets killed just in time. But the distraction is good enough. Muma and Jarrett get some kills on the opposition. Spy gets caught out as well after he gets killed into Scythe. But this push is looking good so far.
Oh, they come back in with the Uber, and this Uber is going to clean house here. Rain working their way through, Logan doing some damage. They get K&D off it enough, but actually Boar is going for some plays here on the flank as Rain tries to clear it out. Instant recommit, though, from K&D.
Yeah, they caught out enough people with good respawns, they can do it. And Demento finding stabs onto Logan and Adam. That's heavy demo down. That should be an easy cap up here for K&D. They have a small Uber to work with as long as they can keep Bull alive. They're dropping a few players as the recommit is in, but if they can get the cart time, it is good enough. Micah gonna get a stab onto Kresnik, so that's gonna be big for stalling, but Jarrett piping down Sandblast, Melon reflecting one of the sides in the meantime, but that will be the cap up for K&D. 3 points, 3 minutes.
That defensive hold was so good from Melon where she was able to stuff the whole Uber and keep her team alive. Oh, Muma going in for a quick play here on the flank, but the Wax happened to take a pipe from his own gun, like it hit the gun and exploded and killed him. So when you lose your engineer there, it's a lot tougher to hold third.
Yep, and both meds are now going to be up on Uber on this last point. K&D are already going fast onto the side cliff. We saw last round because they were on a time constraint, they all went through main. But now it looks like they want to rotate around, just make sure everything is in line before they go.
It's only been 3 minutes for these 3 points so far, so great time out of Kids Next Door. For Cuties, this is where you have to mount your long hold, and everything's even, you have your gun, you're ready to go. But now K&D get to pick how they want to take this fight.
Yep, looks like their combo's rotating through the low ground of the cliff, so try not to get seen by that sniper sightline. But Weil is up there, and if he looks, he could devastate them. Instead, he's going to drop down as Uber is in here for K&D, taking down Sandblast immediately as Zuki going to collapse onto Rain. Heavy gets a counter onto him. Zuki should die for this one, but that force is good enough for K&D. As long as they don't lose players, Demento gets headshot before he gets the sap on the gun before he dies. It's amazing, but Micah stabbing Bull at the tail end of it. Another kill onto Kresnik. Micah going ham in this post fight, and now Cuties get a chance to stabilize.
Look like K&D used almost that entire Uber just to fight that 1 or 2 people on the far side of the flank where you're not really helping Card at all. And while Cuties did manage to save their players, the flank of Cuties cleaned up on Cart, so they were able to stay in this round.
Yep, big earner from Micah being able to get him around the map and getting those stabs, so he's doing a great job helping his team stabilize. And now Ray with a 30% add to work with K&D are trying to reset here, maybe get some dry pressure on the cart. Demento's cloaking in, seeing what he can find, as now K&D are rotating into main and red room.
Oh, amazing stab from Demento to be able to take down Logan here, and that's going to help this dry push a ton.
Yep, a lot of players in through main, and now Cuties have to collapse us from the sides. Rain and Adam are half HP, but they're doing work. Getting those kills, Muma gets dropped by Rain, but the cart is getting pushed forward, and now Kresnik in with the cleanup onto those hurt classes. No one can get on the cart, and that is the 5:15 time for K&D. That's pretty good. That's above average for them.
You saw Muma in that dry push just waiting in main, counting his head like 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. And then bombs in and kills Ray instantly. That was a big difference maker for his team. Like, let them all make the distraction, make the space, do the damage, and then he comes in with the alley-oop, you know, the final blow, the final nail in the coffin.
As well as both these teams have a player that's name is incredibly similar to their medic's name. So we have Bull and Boar, and then we have Ray and Rain. It's really fun to try and keep track of those names, especially when we're calling them up so often. Rain got shut down in that half, which is something that didn't happen in the previous one. So good job by Candy to make sure those banners couldn't come in. Although the big MVP was the second push, where they really just completely stomped Cuties off of that hold. Jarrett getting those stickies onto the dispenser and dropping the enemy medic. So 5-15 for Candy. They're definitely very happy with that time, and now they're pretty set to try and equalize this map. Are we gonna pause?
Yes, sir. For the folks at home, don't forget that the STV has a delay of 90 seconds, so this pause actually happens like 90 seconds in the future of the server. So the setup time does finish here, so we'll have to hope that there's no major kind of crash or anything from a medic or something like that. But for now, we just have to cross our fingers and pray that it's nothing too serious.
I wonder what the rules are on that, whether or not if your med crashes in a pre-round, if you can call for a restart. It'd be enforceable.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's a pretty easy thing to gentlemen's, but since this was 90 seconds ahead, I think it was during the live round.
Yeah.
Not that we know. It's a 2 out of 18 chance that it was a medic, but...
Yeah, we don't even know what the issue could be. It could be a server issue, so I thought we're going to continue waiting for a bit longer. For those of you just tuning in, welcome to this lower bracket semi-final between Candy and Cuties. We are 1-1 in maps. This is the tiebreaker on Vigil. Cuties took the first round, and now Candy are fighting for their lives. They got a pretty good 5-14 time just now, and they need to hold it.
Yeah, that 5-14 time really is great, especially as hopefully you're not tired of hearing me talk about it, but this forward hold from K&D is going to even buy you another like 30 seconds on the clock, at least, as we've seen from that first round. So the Cuties are going to have some really clean pushes in here, where either you'd have to get like a first shot on each of these points, which is a lot to ask. But what we're more looking for is something like a 2-for-1, right? Kill them so hard on second that you get to spawn camp them on third, or maybe you roll them on third and then get to flood into last before they build a sentry gun. That's the opening that you're looking for if you're Cuties, and they're even able to talk strategy and develop these thoughts a little bit during this pause.
Yep. That said, we've seen definitely Candy has been stronger in terms of snowballing, because Cuties got their second point for free off of that really good chase down on Candy's first hold. And I don't see Candy letting that happen again. I just think that they're too smart and adaptable that they're going to make sure that they don't get completely crushed on the back out. And then if you take that out, what happened left on Cuties' attack to think about, right? Third took them a while, and they eventually got it because they found the picks on the flank and collapsed that onto the main force. And then fourth took 2 tries to do. Candy, on the other hand, their third snowballs have been phenomenal. It's just so easy to do when you play on the cliffside like they do. And then last has also, I'd say, been better than Cuties in a vacuum.
Yeah, I'm thinking back to when Michael got an amazing pick onto a bowl at the last second of the first round to win it, to win that for his team. I think you can even kind of change gears as Cuties, where, like we said, they have some of these issues pushing into these points and things. You can actually just pick 1 or 2 players to focus the hell out of and then commit on that. So if you're Cuties, you can say like, okay, Sandblast, Rain, and Michael, we're just going to focus bowl like crazy. Do your job on these pushes, but if you have any opportunity to go for the medic, then do it. And then that'll give you tons of openings where everyone's working together towards that goal. Or you could do the same with the sniper, of course, to say we want to focus bore, spam out bore, and we're all going to commit. So if you have the wherewithal to say like, okay, just do what we've been doing, it's been fine enough, but let's add this little thing into the mix, then I think they actually have a very solid chance in capping in 5 minutes 14.
Yeah, that's so we can take a look at the scoreboard here. Weil and Boar are actually near the bottom. Vigil not that much of a sniper-friendly map. You kind of have to make your own plays, and when the teams are playing at such a high level, it can be very hard to find those openings. Something interesting, the defensive engineer, Wax, in that 5-14 role where he didn't get a chance to set up at all, only 2 points, so that's kind of just a side effect of not ever getting a good defense off on NG.
Also, I'm looking at Jarrett on 30 points to Logan's 6. I mean, that's quite the difference there.
Yeah, a thing to talk about right before the gates open here is we set up the top of the show by saying Logan's coming in. He has the potential to outclass Jarrett really hard because Jarrett's been kind of struggling in recent weeks. Jarrett has stepped up to the plate. He's equalized him, if not outperformed him on every single map. And while, yes, Logan is a ringer and not used to this team, Jarrett's done a fantastic job just making sure that he has more game impact.
And if you're Jarrett, you've been here before. You've been in the tough games. You've needed to adapt. He's, the mastermind behind K&D and all their strats. So for him to find his way back in here and hopefully work their way back into this to even it up on the decider map is all you can hope for if you're K&D.
Boar's forward here with his flank in the side house, and now Melon's trying to push forward. Does end up forcing Scythe out, but Boar does find 2 picks in the meantime. Sandblast's going to win that fight onto Muma with the help of Melon, and Melon also burns out Scythe, so pushing out the flank was successful. Now Candy, you can see they're not even on the front hill anymore. They're already ready to back out tunnel.
Yeah, they cracked the code where if the heavy's on the head glitch spot, you can just have everyone shoot him at the same time, and he just has to leave. So we saw before that Cuties struggled a little bit with this push, but now they're able to clear it out right away, and they're already in position.
Yep, Rain trying to fight side tunnel on Kresnik, get that banner stacked up. Muma gonna go meet him with Scythe in tow. Just a bit of a damage trade. Revenge crits are in and damage forward as well. Micah gonna go down to the gun, but it's only level 1 as the Ubers have been exchanged on the front lines. It looks a bit better for Candy, but Logan gets a good flash at the end. And the first just got capped up. That's how early that Uber was.
I just got so excited, like, oh god, they capped it.
Yeah, that wasn't the second point, that was the first point. So Keys pushed in very quickly there, and they do have a small man advantage to work with off of the respawns, but the cart's just too far back, and it's still only ×1, so I don't know what prompted them to go that early, but they saw something, and whether or not that'll pay off for them, we'll have to see, as cart's still not getting pushed up tunnel, and finally now Sandblast gets on it.
That exchange there was some more of Jarrett's mastery of Highlander, right? Where before we talked about he just ignored the demo in the Uber and went and dropped the medic somehow. Where now, again, when Ray had a really nice milk onto Logan on hill, Jarrett just ignored it and killed like 3 people behind the Uber. So Jarrett definitely worth his weight in gold on this hold.
Yep, in the meantime, Weil and Adam going down to Demento and Scythe, going to force some respawners out as the cart has now finally exited tunnel. Sandblast is going to push it a bit further. Looks like the main push is going to come in shortly as both meds tick up to Uber. Cuties have the hill presence right now. Looks like that's where they want to go. And they have an opening onto Demento, so no spy to worry about.
It's only 3:13 on the clock so far and 3 points to go, so you really want it to be this this capture here, but Adam goes down early to Boar.
Yep, Uber in for Cuties. They're trying to force onto Jared. It's a solo so far and looking good for them. Gonna push forward into this choke, doing a lot of damage. Sandblast going down, Adam as well. And now they're trying to get some more damage to the choke, but Cuties kited out well. They keep all their key players alive. And now the banner is in for Muma, trying to get some more presence. Scythe gonna help clean up Melon on the front lines, as now it's really hard to repush into that banner.
Muma saw that last half like, you know what? The banner
Maybe I
on
should
second,
do that.
not so bad.
Yeah, Cuties gonna repush in with their spawners though, trying to drop down onto the cart. They have some kills, but they're getting more wiped fast. Muma and Scythe go down. Demento gets reflect piped, but the cart pushers are getting shredded. Adam taking out at the end, Boar on a 7k. But Wild does find a counter kill onto Jarrett, and Logan's still alive. Boar still running off shots from the side near the cart, but the numbers are in favor of Cuties. We'll have to see if they can regroup, but Boar is watching this like a hawk.
They have so much high ground for Cuties. Logan even going for a deep bomb to buy space for his team. Ray works forward, but it's only Ray and Logan. Sandblast on cart 2, the Ubers are coming up. Actually, it's a 20% ad for Ray. And now, they do get the point capture. 2 minutes on the clock. Bull's going to come up on his Uber.
Yep. Kresnik got stabbed at the end there, so with all those lost numbers, Kane, you're going to have to cede that point. They're at least going to have Uber, and once their Heavy and Sniper get spawned, then they'll have a chance. But the Heavy and Sniper being down actually buys Cuties some time, because those are 2 players who like to play on the right side for K&D. And it looks like now, with those players down, they're going to push through main immediately. Here's the Uber in from Cuties trying to find some damage. Counter is out from K&D. It's pretty much a solo onto Jarrett here. Scythe does get a flash, and because of that, it is a bit better. But it looks like no one's going to end up dying in that exchange quite yet.
Oh, and the super late commit onto Rain. The gun is only level 1, but the rest of the team commits off of that Melon, throwing everyone into the sky.
Gets Zukimo off his perch, and now with no pyro, they're going to try and spam up on the corner. It's a lot of cart presence. Adam is getting arrowed up. He's still alive.
Oh, but the banner.
The cart forward. Banner forward onto Kresnik, and it is going to keep them alive, but the cart is so close. It is a good repush by Candy to hold that, but Cuties are not going to be upset with that progress. It's a minute 10 left, so they need to cap this and keep going, though.
They were just a look. Oh, Rain gets the capture at the last second, getting Kresnik. Now they have to roll this in the last. There's a minute on the clock, 70% Ubers. Muma working his way forward into lava. Oh, Ray survives just barely, but oh, Zag, it's anyone's game.
Yep, 54 seconds. Both meds are going to have Uber. 1 push is all it takes as the cart is going to get pushed up here. Scratchy is alive, and he's building his gun up shortly. I don't see it right now. He put a dispenser up first. He's going to start building that in a second. Looks like Cuties are pushing in through main here, ignoring Clip for the time being, taking the faster option. Weil is in red room. You have to be worried about him. Revenge crit onto Micah, so no spy for that one. Scratchy getting some value out of that. His gun's only level 1, but Cuties lining up. It's 30 seconds left.
Even Ubers, Ray working her way into main with Sandblast. They use it early on to Logan. Rain is jumping super high onto the gun. Scratchy is thrown way out of here. Jarrett going behind and killing everyone behind Cart. Again, this is what we talked about, makes him so great on this map and so great in Highlander. Well, Logan's shooting at all the Ubered players, Jarrett's shooting all the un-Ubered players. And now they're able to hold this. What a great Uber from Jarrett.
Super clean collapse from all of Candy as well. Muma came into the backline with Demento. They just killed those cart pushers and made everything easy. And with that, that's the equalizer for Candy, taking that half. We're 1-1 tied up on the third map.
Next round wins. Whoever loses this next round is out of playoffs. No money, no badges. That's it. Whoever wins this gets a chance to play Refrigerator in the lower bracket finals and, to get that last spot in the Grands. So good luck to now. Cuties are going to be pushing on offense, and they did almost get it in 5 minutes and, just about 15 seconds or so. So if they can do that again, they're sitting pretty for the last round, but both teams have had really solid offenses, really solid defenses.
This is such a strange Vigil game, and it kind of shows you the nature of the map, because in both halves, one team drops Uber defending second, and yet both halves come down to the wire. You gotta wonder from both these teams' perspectives, like, why did we drop that round? Why did we drop our medic? What's happening? The first team that plays a semi-clean game across the entire board is just going to end up winning. Because there's so many individual plays and individual mistakes coming out right now that the rounds, they're really just flip-flopping based on that alone.
Yeah, that is part of this map, right? I even was discussing with my team when we were scrimming Kids Next Door in the pregame how I always drop on Vigil at least once, but today I didn't, and I think that's why we lost, because I didn't drop. But I'm looking at these stats here, and talking about dropping, Bull has only 1 death in that entire half that we've just seen. And additionally, a lot of these players are kind of lower on the scoreboard, but then we have Kresnik going 14-5, Chad looking at Muma going 14-11, Jarrett 11-2.
11
that was
and
a
2 from
really
Jarrett.
strong showing.
Yeah, the combo of K and D just played so well to snowball that all the way through. Muma as well having his best half of the night, actually. Normally he's feeding, but this time he actually went positive and nearly top damage his team to boot, only behind Jarrett, who played just as well.
Yeah, most med picks in the server. That's my boy. And yeah, it's so because again, it felt like they did have a chance, but with such a strong kill and damage differential from the Kids Next Door combo, yeah, now that they're turned on and they're killing it here on the server, it's tough to say which way this one's going to go.
Yep, we're into the final half. Hopefully we don't pause at the start of this one too, although I just jinxed it probably, so we'll see you guys in an hour, but we will have Cuties on offense for this one starting out. They just had a pretty decent offense themselves, but it was just not enough after K&Ds. So setting the pace for them, it's probably gonna be good. Remember, every time a team has held second first for the on the first side in the half, they've lost by dropping Uber. So maybe that's a curse. Maybe we're gonna see Bull drop in a second here, but it's all down to this.
Mission begins in 10 seconds.
Gates about to drop on the final round of this lower bracket semifinals between K&D and Cuties. Winner of this takes it all. They get minimum 3rd place and a chance to continue their playoff run. Loser is going home empty-handed. Gates have dropped.
And they actually opt to hold Bull on the passive angle here. Just now, Kresnik gets into the forward head glitch area, but now Bull is very, very passive in the... Well, we say very passive, but it's just passive for K&D. This is the normal spot that medics are playing in this version of the meta.
Yep, Weil and Rain die, but in the meantime, Logan's actually found a kill onto Jarrett. Scythe and Bork gone down, so great sacks in by the second classes of Cuties, and they're going to kill the gun as well. Scratchy's to get out of life here. He gets flare gunned, but he will end up surfing out, so he will live in the meantime, but Candy dropping probably more players than they bargained for. Logan luckily, or Demento does get a pick onto Logan, and that's going to slow the push down. It's lucky for them, and now because that Melon's going to end up feeding all alone here, as well as Adam, so good cleanup on that while as well dying. So that Demo Man pick actually saves them a snowball.
I did like that commit on the hill, but I actually think if Ray even used Uber on Melon, then Melon could have done so much close range damage to the rest of the team. She does still get enough of a disrupt. The gun's on level 1. Ooh, and Boar going down 2. This is a green light for Cuties.
Yeah, they're able to push forward. Looks like because of that sniper pick, they want to try and edge hill, but Rain has died inside tunnel as well. Sandblast, Kresnik getting that big collapse in with the help of Muma. And it looks like regardless, Cuties want to go towards hill here. They're trying to pop over. They're taking a bit of damage. Kresnik on a 5k inside tunnel as the Ubers are exchanged. It's a solo onto Jarrett compared to a multi from Ray, so it's a better Uber for KD, but they're getting more players out onto the flank here if you're Cuties, and they have a lot of space to work with. Rain in the backline as well, doing a lot of damage onto Scratchy. Gets the gun, killed Jarrett as well, and that's a pretty big collapse in from the Cuties. They're going to take a big numbers advantage and a space advantage while hitting a headshot onto Bora as well to clean up that point, and Cuties hit it first try.
So much high ground. We saw from those first 2 rounds, you either have to recontest the high ground on defense, or you have to have an amazing banner from an amazing player. Unfortunately, this time kids like Sora had neither.
Yep, and with that, they're going to get pushed backwards. They have a small 20% dis side, but it doesn't matter because Cuties want to dry it. They have stickies on the side right now, and because KD nearly wiped, they don't have anyone on the right side. That said, Jarrett getting a kill onto Wild is super important. They're going to have a sniper out to work with, and now KD can flank out and get those angles onto lower. Cuties getting pushed back a bit. Rain dropping forward. Oh, onto Bull! Micah with that distraction gets the stab onto the KD medic, and now Ray with a full Uber out to work with. That's so big.
Oh, the banner does come out from Muma, where they're going to use this as a quasi-Uber and try and hold this here. Melon does go down before the Uber, which is quite unfortunate.
Or he's on the angle, trying to scope onto Logan while trying to fight him, and Wild wins the SPS. That's so important. Now Cuties get a free Uber in here, pushing KD back. Banner is out for Muma, so that's at least something, but their gun's gonna go down early. Wax is killed the cart pusher, but Demento finding a multi-kill into Adam before Kresnik gets killed by Logan, and the banner is big enough. Muma getting a lot of damage. Recommit in here from the pick classes. Jarrett, Muma, and Kresnik all dropping with Logan's bomb coming in, and Cuties are now wiping K&D. It's just a level 1 gun, and Boar left to defend this. Boar is gonna find Logan, but Wild takes down Demento in trade. Micah with his 5th decloak of the round, gonna kill Boar again, and this is such a chaotic push. Cuties are not giving this up, and the full overheal heavy should be the difference maker.
We haven't said Michael's name in a long time here, but he does so much work here. But now, actually, there's so many spawns from KND.
Oh,
there's been so much of a commit on Cuties, and now they're not able to seal the deal at the last second. But you remember what Rain did last round? Maybe it's time for it to happen again.
An edge in would be exactly what Cuties need, because Bull is going to be up on Uber way before Ray. Probably sacking the cart could be your best bet, but Candy holding forward. They take out Wild and Sandblast with spam into main. They're going to have to respawn here. And keep in mind, the cart's going to roll back in 4 seconds, and if it gets back down the hill, Cuties lose all that progress.
And that was so unlucky they weren't able to seal the deal at the last second. Ooh, the cart's just barely tipping. It's getting closer and closer.
Micah should have decloaked on it. He ended up trying to go for a pick, and he got picked himself, so it's about to roll down the hill. Melon going to sack for it. That's the right play there to keep that one from rolling down. Adam now walking out, and they do force the Uber. So if Ray can get it alive, that's big, but collapses in very cleanly from Jarrett and Syath. They kill all of Cutie's combo, and now it's just 4 up for them. Good collapse from KMD.
Oh man, you hate to see it, right? That's the classic mistake of like, okay, we need to dry push and kill and force the med so everyone commit. But then a medic's like, hey, wait, but what about me? I have to stay alive, right? And they're like, well, we're in, and you're going to be alone, not building, right? So Ray commits, but then dies to it because turns out the floor is lava. If only a caster could have told us.
Micah got a tap on the cart there, but it's about to roll back as another banner is in here from Muma. He's holding that one ready to put it. His cart is getting ready to roll back. Cuties have taken a right side stance. All their players overloading that flank side. Cart is it gets tapped by Rain right before he dies, so it stops the rollback once again. But Cuties are bleeding still. Wild finds an opening onto Boar, but it costs him 4 of his own players in the meantime, and Muma still is holding this banner crucially.
It was the right play from Cuties to take control of this flank area, but then they just bled players everywhere else. Now Syath even in behind Ray. It does get Ray in the last second with his... Oh, he just even gets a little pick on the Sandblast.
Before he gets taken down. Big plays by the scout of K&D to keep those kills up and give Bull a full Uber ad to work with. Cuties right now should be panicking as the cart finally ended up rolling downhill.
Syath gives her a lol and Ray gives one back. Rain trying to make an opening, not able to find it. This was such a good round. Do you remember how excited we were when Cuties was able to get that capture with the advantage? But now Muma even banners in the main.
Yep, Candy looking for a forward hold here onto Cuties. Everything is in order for Candy. They have full Uber, they have people on the flank, and they have the gun up. That said, Micah gonna decloak on Kresnik's head, gets that jump stab, and clears the flank for his team a bit.
It's good that Cuties are looking for some openings here, but, you know, sending in the soldier before the rest of the team, now sending players in main on the low ground.
Micah's doing so much work. Another pick onto board gives his team a sniper ad, and Candy are 3 down. If you're Cuties, you have to aggress on this. What other chance do you have? But Sandblast's going to run into the gun and get killed. Jarrett as well, finding some stickies onto Melon, and this is just a stagger of epic proportions if you're Cuties. You guys need to regroup and make things happen. Ray going to be up on Uber, but they have to wait for spawners to use it as the time is getting kind of unreasonable. It's the longest time we've seen so far, that's for sure.
Yeah, we finally get to see this Uber. I mean, they're still waiting on the respawners, and they don't have a spy in position to work out the distraction or try to sap the gun. So maybe they even will take so long that Michaelela will be able to get in position after all. But right now, it looks like they're just trying to work their way through main.
Uber in here from Cuties, finally they're going to go around the corner, multi from both teams as Candy do have more space at the moment as Logan gets dropped in that side, finding the open player and takes that kill, gets out alive too. So now Cuties have to recontest without a demo man. Banner coming out for Muma again. These are so crucial. Boar with a piss gun actually going to take out Rain as the banner is in onto the cart, but Micah getting a kill onto Kresnik is big for the push. Candy are dropping some players. It's a small man ad for Cuties, but it's about the high ground. Micah finds another kill onto Boar, dominating the enemy sniper as well as Wild. So Boar can't do much, but it doesn't matter because K&D are collapsing as a team.
That was such an interesting push where the flank of Cuties won on the flank, so I thought they were winning, but the combo of KND went out over Cuties, whose combo is, of course, on the floor on the low ground again. Crazy how that, pushing from the low ground over and over could be so difficult, especially after the Ubers, right? If you start the Uber on the low ground and bring them onto it, but then you finish higher on the ground, higher on the sides, have your flank commit, then that works. But if you're finishing the Uber as a revved up heavy on the floor, there's nothing for you to do except die.
Micah going in front of Boar and actually eats the piss shot instead of getting stabbed. So now Candy with a free Uber. Gonna try to use into main and get Ray. Ray on 100% though, backing out in time. Demento's on her though, and Demento finds the drop. Melon not looking for it. That's such a crucial play to keep Candy in the Uber ad. And now this hold is looking amazing. It's such a long time for Cuties to deal with, and they don't have any feet in the door on this one. There's no avenue they have in.
Oh no, even Sandblast is a late death here to the Sydney Sleeper. Bora, hitting them where it hurts.
Yep, it's 55% for both, 16 for Ray. Ray's not going to be anywhere close to having it. Now Boar's watching the flank with that piss gun. He shoots Logan with it. It's a bit annoying. While taking that SBS, Wild should have winning that because he has a buff, and the piss shooter can't one-shot a buff sniper. Adam finding a kill onto Demento in the meantime.
Like, Logan can't even peek, he's covered in pee.
Kresnik peeking Wild, shreds him immediately, left alone. As now Adam is pissed on, he's taking very low. He's trying to get card pressure from the level 3 gun, is very threatening. Micah gets killed, Rain gets killed, Muma with another banner. This is like the 4th banner of this 3rd hold. And now they're going to end up collapsing onto the Cuties combo. The health is really bad for them in the corner, and now they're trapped out. Candy could try and get on them here. Scythe is on Logan. Oh, it's a close fight, and Scythe's going to end up winning that one as well, so... Ooh, it's not looking good for Cuties. They finally have the Uber at least, but Boar's in the middle and he shoots! He gets a very big damage shot. It's gonna hold the Cuties back. They have Uber, and if they have any hope left, they need to go.
We're actually running a little low on the round timer, only 1 minute and 50 left, which of course isn't an issue, but dropping Logan
got
right
dropped.
away on this
Oh,
Uber.
no. That's not good. Nothing to shoot at the gun. It's going to get wrangled up. It does get taken out by the heavy in the end, but the Uber is so much better if you are Candy. They're collapsing on people. Micah, Wax, Melon, all dropping immediately while finding a consolation onto Zukima, but they're all dying, and this is not good for Cuties. They are so out of it at this point.
Such a hard reset here, and the respawns are classically worse for defense, but look how close you spawn when you're on defense here. Like, you have 0 seconds of a walk. Compare that to, let's say, Upward First, where when you have a 20-second respawn timer on First on defense, you have to walk for another 15 seconds. So right now, Kids Next Door are ready to keep taking these trades and taking these fights deep here, but they do reach out for it this time.
They finally have an opening pick. If your Cuties kill onto Jarrett's going to be very big for while finding it. Boar peeking into main, going to get saved by the Pyro. And now Cuties flooding around the corner trying anything. Reflect Rocket from Melon doing a big work, and finally they have good man ad coming forward. Cart's getting pushed up the hill. Gun not going to be able to save it. And Cuties cap it. That is a 10-minute time through 3. That is ugly.
Yeah.
Get that off my screen.
Get it out of here. Stop the count. No, what was the first round? Was 6 or so minutes, and the second one was 5-something minutes. Now 10 minutes, and we're not even done yet.
Yeah. Not looking good for Cuties. They need to salvage what they can and try their best, but this is demoralizing for them. They're grouping up in main. They do have even Ubers at least. Looks like they're putting their combo out towards Cliffside. Sniper as well, going to meet up with them. Fighting the flank here, going down. Adam does help push out the K&D combo that was holding up there. So at least keeps up the space. Ooh, gets caught out. Oh my god, he stabs Adam in the middle of an air blast. Uber in through the door here. Cutie's trying to find some damage. Bull ends up dropping 3 players, but it's fine. You don't need your engineer for the hold. Gun's all you need. Now they're going to push back in through main here while going down to Boar's Piss Rifle, winning that SVS. Kresnik cleans up Rain as well in the meantime, so Piss Rifle onto Melon, going to get one-rocketed by that out of Muma.
Big cleanup from the flankers here, where that post Uber could have gone either team's way, but yeah, Muma, Syath, Kresnik working their way into a pick each, so Kids Next Door gets enough time to set back up here.
Yep, 45-50% Uber for both medics as Logan dies in the off time, so no Dome Man means you can't even take position. Somehow Adam is pissed on from like the back cliff. I don't know where that sight line is. SBS going down in main right now. Ooh, Boar hits the first shot into Weil. Not enough to kill him. Spy, not gonna find that drop.
I love this spot from Demento where he just stands outside watching and waiting, letting his team know exactly what's going on. I'm really not getting these Ubers from Cuties where they're like on the garage thing and then they have some guys going in the side but they just die because they're taking a 1v3, but then they Uber through main where they're on the low ground anyway. It's very confusing for me, and they're now like wasting more time off the clock. You have a pick on Demento. You're just hurting yourself the longer you take, so just go at some point.
Micah's on the gun, he's gonna get the sap, and the Uber is in, so the gun is gonna go down immediately, so Q's at least have that going for them, but Andy have theirs. They're gonna counter, it's a solo onto Jarrett right now, Scythe's gonna get a flash, and they're doing damage on Cart. Rain and Wild do combine for a couple of good frags, including the Engineer. Gun's gonna go down because of that. Gonna get rebuilt as level 1, but a bunch of kills in main for K&D. The cleanup is coming in hot, that flank pushed through, Kresnik and Scythe getting a bunch of cleanup kills, and another hold for K&D is in the table.
Yeah, I'm out here on the East Coast, been here for almost 3 hours now. K&D giving us a show, keeping us locked on the server for an eternity.
Yeah,
the prophecies are coming true.
If you're gonna do this, couldn't you have pushed first? Like, come on. Either way, we're gonna be going in here. Micah finds a 2K onto Kresnik and Boar. That's a really big opening for his team. Finally, Cuties have a big advantage to work off of. The gun in the back is gonna get taken out as well, and the cart is getting pushed. Adam gets taken out by Jarrett, but their kills are still in favor of Cuties. It's just Jarrett here trying to find any contention on cart, but he's getting pushed by Sandblast. Sandblast's gonna win that fight, gets traded for his life, but it's fine. Cuties gonna cap this up. 13-20 on Vigil. If you capped it twice as fast, it's maybe good.
Well, I mean, who am I kidding? I was gonna say just something to give the folks at home a show, right? But, you know, Kids Next Door did hold an 11-14 time on payload, so the double-digit holds are possible. Probable? That much I can't say.
Maybe on a map where that's twice as long as this one, but, you know.
Maybe they have to just gentlemen's agree that once K&D pushes the cart to last, they also have to push it back to first, so it's a little bit closer of a match.
Yep, and we're going into the second half of this round, rather. Last half, 1-1. Winner takes the match. K&D, dominant 13-21 hold, most of it coming on that third point. It's so hard to contest K&D on that. They do that point better than anyone else in the league, and it was very clearly shown there. So now Cuties, their backs are against the wall. 13-21 hold on the cards if they want to continue their playoff hopes. Keep in mind this team was 7-0 in the regular season, undefeated, first seed, and they're this close to getting kicked out of playoffs without winning a match in 4th place. They need a miracle to stay alive.
And I know it was some agony for Cuties to decide what to play, but don't forget, they beat Kids Next Door on Upward during the season. Now they pick Vigil instead of Upward and are currently losing it pretty severely.
For the Huntsman trying to just get Weil off this crate. Weil was going to say, yeah, screw that, shoots Zukima in the head, and then Boar gets close, gets piped down, so normal sacks, normal sacks.
You have to not make any mistakes for Cuties. Like, honestly, you can even just ignore first and set up on second. That's not what you want to see at all.
Boar's going to be up on a rifle, ready to go in a second here. I wonder if he's going to be off the piss rifle or not. Jarrett does get killed, though, for his trouble, so at least some time bought for Cuties to kind of stabilize here while we'll be up and alive.
Alright, the Uber right now, Kids Next Door looks like they want to like just clear the tunnel and make sure they get the cart close enough, whereas we saw the side of Cuties wanted to just go in right away and create the chaos. So right now, Kids Next Door working their way into this tunnel. Cuties getting their way set up. They figure out what's going on, and the Uber goes on Kids Next Door's terms.
Yep, they're just getting that cart pushed up as far as they can before the hill rotation. Now they come through. Boar's still on the piss rifle, by the way. And now Candy are looking to burst through the choke point. They kill Sandblast immediately. It's a solo onto Logan, trying to find some damage to the backline. Micah doesn't find anything. Logan at least pipes Boar, but the Uber's a lot better for Candy, and they're going to hold high ground as well. Side tunnel's interesting, because Rain has that. Going to win that fight against Mula, push him back. And now the recontest is in. Demento is on Ray, but doesn't find the kill. Neither can Scratchy. Bull dies to Logan's pipes, and Cuties have a potential hold here, but they have to get the high ground back.
Huge pipes from Logan. If Bull survives, this would have gone in favor of Kids Next Door for sure. Great play from him. And Wax actually kept his gun alive. He was building it just behind the shutter, and you think they would have lost without having that gun, but the, going for some of those shutter strats like on Asheville, like we used to see, rest in peace, to that god-awful strategy.
Demento's ready to sap the gun. He's going to get the sapper as the cart push comes through. Gun going to go down immediately. Banner is out from Rain, though. Cart collapse is coming in shortly. Rain taken very low and is going to end up burning out if he doesn't get a pack. They're going to stay alive for the time being, but K&D losing a lot of players on the cart. Sandblast, Adam, get that cleanup onto Jarrett and Bull. Bull dying crucially for K&D. Cutie is going to be able to hold with another advantage, and Rain stayed alive as well, so he can be able to keep building the banner.
That worked for Cuties, but K&D got the gun and so much cap time.
Yep. The only thing they're going to regret is losing Bull there, which is going to make it so they have to build their Uber. But, with the 10-minute time left on the board, you're fine with that. Build your Uber. Make sure you're tapping the cart in the meantime. Just make sure you can get the push off cleanly when the time comes.
I mean, we did see Michael Lele and Sandblast. You remember Sandblast on defense? He's like, well, I mean, what else do I do on defense as a scout? I have to wait for them to come to me in these, like, small areas, So you could just send him in behind. Go for Bull on a whim when he gets close to Uber.
Hill contest coming in for Candy. Jarrett's actually going to do a lot of damage onto Weil after Weil wins that SPS onto Boar, so going to get pushed back for the time being. Both of them actually forward on the part now. Tunnel fight popping off a bit. Both soldiers building banners crucially for the time being. Micah calling out the Candy advancements is now 90% for Bull. They're getting ready to go.
We're passing the 10-minute mark. All right, less than 10 minutes. We're making our way.
Yeah, 1-4 through the match so far as both soldiers building that banner up. It's so close, and both meds have Uber. Demento dying off time, though, so no sap available for the gun. First pop is out by Rain on the banner. Candy are walking through the choke, gonna pop the Uber first, trying to get some damage on, solo onto Logan. Meanwhile, Bull ended up multiing, so they have a much better Uber. They're into the choke point, doing damage. Jarrett gets piped, but no one's there. Oh, never mind, Wild's there to clean him up. Recontest in from K&D, but so much damage coming forward. Rain gets stabbed, so not gonna have any banner building from now. Sandblast killing Kresnik on the backline, Logan piping down Zukima, and that's a good hold from Cuties.
Sandblast's movement is so clean. He's like the wind, and this is a strong cleanup too. I mean, you gotta give yourself these like pats on the back when you have a great hold like this for Cuties. Like, keep this up, shred them in the post Ubers. I mean, Sandblast like went from lower, like up on the hill, onto the shack, and then back through main tunnel. Like, these guys are being as mobile as possible, trying to cover all the doors, and it's working so far.
Yep, Cuties getting their last spawner up as Candy looking to recontest them. I wish I could see the banner bar because I think Muma is going to have before Rain. But it's going to be recontention on cart. A lot of players doing damage, including Jarrett. And Wax going to get killed immediately. His gun going down. In the meantime, Adam as well taken very low. Needs an arrow. Doesn't get it. And now Cuties are collapsing a bit. They're giving up high ground. They're giving up space. They're getting pushed out. And they're going to get forced by Zukima. So really bad all around from Cuties. Bolt does get killed by Rain as a consolation. But they need to get back here on second. Is this a long enough hold to keep this 13-minute dream going? It looks like they're going to have to just leave anyway.
You are going to get all of your spawns here on third. But... and Ubers are going to be even. You hopefully will be able to get a gun, but it's so hard to say if this is enough.
Yep, we're entering third point. This was Candy's domain for the entirety of Vigil so far. Cuties are going to have to pull something out. They need at least, I'd say, 5 minutes on this defense, if not more, on this point. Candy are already getting aggressive going forward. They get a stab onto Wild, but Boy is traded on just at the same time. That's a buff banner, not a battalion, so doing a bit more damage, I believe. Coming forward, and now Candy have to back off because they don't get much in the end. Cuties are still holding on, but they need to get their sniper alive.
That was perfect from Cuties. You kite and let them get closer, then you flood back into them from the high ground.
Yeah, we just see Jarrett and Scythe on high ground pushing Adam back. Adam needs to find a pack. He's going to try to get decloaked on in a second, but Candy have cart presence and Boar forward. Gets a lot of damage, while in the meantime kills Scratchy before Boar gets cleaned up. And now Cuties have fully stabilized. The cart has not made it up the hill yet, and their gun is going to get level 3 here.
Demento stole Adam's pack on the flank, so he would burn to death, but a drop from Demento onto Ray. That's 100% Uber down for Ray. Now, Bolt has a full Uber ad working his way in through main.
You cannot lose your medic there. Melon or whoever needs to make sure that spy check comes through. That's the easiest spy check in the world. To drop your medic to it is heartbreaking. Now Candy have a free push in through main. Jarrett gonna get sniped, at least they have that. A good collapse in to get some damage down, but the numbers are still in favor of Candy. Respawners in for Cuties, a bit closer. They have Logan and Wild, but his sniper on the flank can do a lot of damage. Kills Logan, takes Wild down to 1 HP, mini cleans him up, and Candy have the point. 6:45 left for 1 point, Ubers are even, and Candy are already pressuring last.
Yeah, the reflect kills, wow, Melon takes out Bora from 2 reflects from Muma. Muma playing a third imposter, is a spy for the other team, you could say. And now that K&D is able to, like, slowly make their way with the cart here and get this Uber, they get to feel out this defense. They get to even go for another dry push to try and take down the gun. And it's 6 minutes to do it, Zach.
If you're K&D here, you have minimum 5 Ubers, if not more, going forward. Zukima and Jarrett are going to go down early, so they're going to have to back up. Bora as well dropping. Sandblast is a trade, as Buff Banner is out here for K&D. They're going to do a bit of damage. It's actually a battalion, just a different color, so that's a bit weird. Same banner either way, the defensive one, strongest one, coming through. Going to have to build that one back up, though, as K&D looking for their spawners, going to go up on the side hill.
Ubers are up now. Sandblast and Micah are going to be spawners, but Micah's not quite able to call these positions because he's still in the respawn cabinet. Right now, Bold, Jarrett, Zukima, Bor, Syath working their way into the flank.
Micah's calling this. He's decloaking on the medic here. He's going to get found out by Zuki. It's knife melted as Uber is in the right side for Candy here, trying to get what they can here. Solo onto Adam for now. Going to clean up side easily, and Candy have to back up here. The cart got pushed up a bit further, but they don't find anything with that Uber.
That was a good
gun
hold.
late. It is going to get the gun in the end. As now Candy collapsing onto last, Cuties are losing players. This is looking good for the kids next door. Late collapse onto cart has worked out for them, and this is looking like a done deal. It's just Logan and Ray, medic demo combo. They can't get on the cart in time, and K&D are going to take this playoff match 2-1 on Vigil. They will be moving forward to face Refrigerator in the lower bracket finals. And Cuties, unfortunately, will be exiting playoffs in 4th place after an undefeated regular season.
Yeah, it so felt like they had it, and then we saw that 13 on the clock, and you got to hang them up right about then. So a really solid showing from them, and they were so in this match the entire evening. They could have won it at so many different points, but don't quite get it over the line, and Kids Next Door is exactly the team to make you work for it.
Yep, and in the end, Candy works just that much harder. They take the match. They're going to be ecstatic about that one after the roster swaps they made last second. It's definitely close. It comes down to the wire, but their playoff dreams are alive here, and I have a feeling they're going to be confident going into next weekend's Refrigerator as well.
Oh, absolutely. And now it's so sad to see, yes, that after a perfect, flawless season, that Cuties are out and have not won any matches in playoffs here. And when I look at the combined logs for the entire match here, of course, we have actually Syath topping the scoreboard. And then, of course, after that, we have like Sandblast, Rain, and Wild doing a ton of damage for the Cuties.
Wild got second top frag, only 7 behind Syath. So impressive game from them. Like, looking at the stats, we can look at them. They're pretty even across the board. There's slight discrepancies here and there, but it really just came down to team play, especially because Swiftwater and Vigil were the maps that really made a difference. And it just, even though Cuties had their bright moments, they just got outclassed by Candy in the clutch.
Exactly. If one of those pushes goes different, one of those holds goes different. I mean, they had something like less than 6 minutes, I believe, when Ray had dropped on third to the, like you said, you're surrounded by 7 teammates. How could that possibly happen?
That.
So, I mean, of course, Demento is some of the best, but at the same time, like, if maybe that hold goes a little bit differently, this result could have gone a bit differently, but that's what it's all about, is creating these openings and capitalizing on them.
In the end, it does not pan out for Cuties. Unfortunate end of the season for them. They're definitely going to be disappointed with this result. The undefeated regular season, they were feeling strong, they were feeling confident, they put in a bunch of work, but in the end, nothing to show for it. So we do say goodbye to them, but playoffs have to keep churning. Candy, Refrigerator next week. Winner is going to take on Memento Mori in the grand finals. If you guys weren't here for the update, Memento Mori took down Refrigerator 2-0 in their upper bracket finals. So they've clinched at minimum a top 2 spot and a bigger chunk of that prize money.
And hopefully Kids Next Door is realizing some of their difficulties and some of their issues they had on these maps. They did win it, but it wasn't so clean as maybe they were hoping, or that they would like anyway. So it's going to be a interesting match in the lower bracket next week, and then an exciting grand finals.
Yep. That said, we can look to close things out here because it was a very long cast. It is 12:47 on the East Coast right now. I've been doing this for over 3 hours at this point. No, all of you viewers must be tired. I'm definitely tired. I'm sure Rogue is tired as well. Dolphin been on that cam all night. Shoutouts to Dolphin as always. So Rogue, if you have any closing statements to give.
GG to Cuties. You guys really tried, and I'm proud of you, even though it didn't work out.
Yeah, unfortunate for them. Maybe we can see some iteration of the roster coming in next season. But that said, we are done here for tonight. Candy have taken the lower bracket semis 2-1 in map score over the Cuties, moving on next week. Thank you all for watching this cast tonight. I'm Zyron, joined by Rogue and Dolphin behind the camera. As always, we'll see you next week. Good night.